Well, now really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling. You see, we don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. And it goes back, as a matter of fact, to extremely fundamental things. That there is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, the life is an act of faith and an act of gamble.
Isn't it something? Isn't it something oh so wonderful and beautiful? So the thing we're going to think about today is this, basically, for the most part, is the love and how multidimensional it truly can be and is. And, you know, I came across this slogan not too long ago. It said, logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will be endless, right? Something from Einstein. But without further ado, what I'm about to do is bring up the oh so wonderful, the oh so lovely. Yes, welcome back, welcome back. There she go. What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
We feel good today.
I know that's right. Same here.
I know that's right. So, this is your show, and I just wanted to make sure I gave you your introduction. So, go ahead and get the people hip to what we're going to be talking about and how you want to run. Let's go.
Well, I posted something earlier today. It's something that I had to explore that I heard years and years and years ago. And it is the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry. And I've come to find that that statement goes over some people's heads. And I just kind of wanted to break it down to give people the understanding as to what it is that I was talking about and how it
Okay.
can pertain to their
Mhm.
lives.
Okay. All right. So, everybody, welcome back to Smitty's Corner. 777, and this is episode 2 of Because You're Listening. That's right. Now let me go ahead and change this banner right here. My bad, y'all. I was still playing music. I was still hyped up for my other show, so do not mind that. Let me go ahead and switch this logo. um Beloved, if you don't mind typing in the back chat for me.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to this. So we have this set up. Now, let me go ahead and make sure that I get all of the, decorations all good, right? We got to get our decorations in the mix because you all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. All right, y'all. So let's see what we got right here. I think I'm going to start here. All right, so let's start there. All right, so let me see. Gotcha. No problem. All right, boom. And where we bow. Yep. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get it. And with that being said, do you want to go ahead and give your introduction to what we're going to be talking about? Because you know something, when I sent this out to people, Krissy, a lot of folks were saying to me, "What? It's like really some magic behind love." And I was like, hey, you know something? I don't know, but I know that when I experience love in my life, it is magical. But do I know how that works? No, me personally, I don't. And if anybody knows me, they know that I will guard my tongue, and I will wait for somebody who may have a better insight on what it is that it is we will be speaking about this evening. So let me go ahead and get this set up. But what's your introduction to tonight's?
Well, there are words never said, touches we pull back, truths we buried beneath the ache of fear. But
Mhm,
love, real love, it never dies. It waits. And it's waiting. It becomes a weight that we carry.
mhm.
In this space, let us listen to the echoes of love we held and the healing it still offers. There's so much pertaining to love, and anyone that knows me knows that I am a firm believer in energy and alchemy and frequency, vibration. And in my understanding and through my experience, love is the highest vibration, um, the purest vibration in the pulse of this planet. I express all the time that every single day we wake up to the illumination of the sun, which is a pure expression of love in the sense that it creates life all around us.
Mhm.
And there's so many of us that are in desperate need of love. And I stand firmly on the platform of self love. But I felt that it was time for me to break down love in and of itself, because you can't understand how to love yourself if you don't even know what love pertains to. A lot of people look at it to be something that they share with someone else, um, versus an overall frequency and energy, the basis of understanding.
Wow. That is, huh, man, you know something? Um, nah, I do have to admit, because then when I think about it, I'm saying to myself, okay, so anytime I ever mention love, I mean, me as a man, at least I'm gonna say, my love is for what it is that I can give to those whom I love. You see? So this is going to be very interesting to hear what you got to say on this one, Krissy. I swear, because I can tell you right now, off rip, soon as I heard that, I'm saying to myself, then who is it supposed to be for? And I'm
Um,
pretty sure you'll tell us.
I think that a better question would be, who isn't it supposed to be for? Because in essence, what you
Ooh,
said with respect to
ooh,
having an act of service as an expression of love, yes, that is definitely an expression of love. But so is discipline. So are boundaries. So is waking up just grateful for the day and stepping into love within yourself. Um, there's many ways to speak the language of love and to express love. But in and of itself, it is a vibration, something that you can sit in. Just sit in the vibration of love, breathing it in and exhaling it, and with every breath of your being. And I do so quite often, which is why I know that I'm the embodiment of love. I walk with it. It's who I am. It's what I claim myself to be. I am love. I give it so free flowingly that it is flowing through me. This pulse, this beautiful pulse of energy. But it's not just what I do for people. It's also what I don't do. It's what I do for me. It's what I don't do for me. There's um there's much to be said with respect to the understanding of love. And of course, the opposite of love is not hate; it's fear. And a lot of people withhold the love for themselves, for those around them, in terms of forgiveness and compassion, specifically because they're sitting in an element of fear, and some manifest. There's fear within their energy, within their being, that is blocking the understanding of pure love, which is, again, the purest form of energy, the highest form of energy, and it is the pulse of this planet. And argue with me. So,
Okay, so let me ask you this, before we get to, like the meat and bones of this. For those who may have come up in a circumstance in which they weren't able to acquire that higher frequency due to environment. Now, one thing that I do know throughout the study of how the adaptation of humans and the upbringing has to play, it is very true, beloved, that I would say me myself, I was able to tap into that because of the peace and security that I had coming up around me. Now, not diverting the discussion, but what I'm saying is, as my personal example, and me knowing other people in these circumstances who are the opposite, I notice how my frequency and vibrational levels are higher. And then I get to thinking when I talk to those who will admit, I mean, they will say, like, yo, like, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. And it's crazy that when they tell me their background story, all I hear is they came up in chaotic circumstances. Now, even if we go to the Asians, African, whoever, anyone who we know should go to the biblical. Off in the forest, they go away. It's solitude. It's something about coming up in peace in a environment where you can think that really plays a part. And a lot of people don't really take that into consideration when it comes to if you're even able to tap in. So to land it, do you believe that your environment, whatever it is around you, has a lot to do with how deep one can even able to process what you're saying?
well, everybody is processing everything through their own lens of perception. The one thing that I will say is that love is so innate, so much of our truth, that when we don't have it, we look for it. We know that there's something missing. When it's not expressed, we want it, we desire it, and we look for it so much so that if it's not felt, we'll go looking for it and feed that emptiness in many ways. Versus, and which is the where it is that I stand is to assist people with the coming back to love, the truth of their being, regardless of their outward circumstance. Because what's happening around you is really a distraction from the innate truth of your being. And the innate truth of your being is that we are all loved. The whole expression, this whole existence is pure love. It really is, even the pain of it. So I will say that yes, your environment can affect your perception and can put you in a position to where you are blocking the energy that is coming to you. But as soon as you cleanse your lens and realize that everything that is happening around you is truly just an expression of pure love, including the discipline, including the consequences to your decisions, including your perceived pain and negative experiences. It's just a matter of tapping in, becoming aware of the energy, and shifting your perspective, cleansing your lens.
Okay. So, Krissy, are you ready to go ahead and get going with the questions?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So everybody, so what is exactly the method to the topic today? So I mean, because reason why I ask, because folks are really actually curious, like, what do you mean alchemy and love? How does alchemy and love work? You want to give a little small example of that before I pull up question one?
Alchemy is the understanding of vibration, energy, and frequency. It's the ability to take one thing and transmute it into something else. For instance, applying a flame to something, then it begins to change whatever it is that you've applied the flame to. That's alchemy. It's science. It's a scientific view. Um, and so
Okay.
and so when I speak to alchemy, it really is your innate ability to transmute energy. And each one of us we all have the ability to be an alchemist.
All right. So, with that being said, real quick, beloved, as I said, you definitely, when you turn the lamp on, the lights will attract. And we have a fellow lamp in the building. Everybody, give it up, for you already know this lamp shines, but you ain't gonna know which one it is.
Wilson, what are you doing?
Hi, Hosttess. I'm just testing my maracas.
Usually when I have mine tested, the doctor makes me turn my head and cough. Happy hour, Wilson?
All right, what's going on, son?
Gosh.
Respect to the family.
Thanks for the phone.
You already know, Brody. So yeah, man. The light is on, and we definitely want y'all to come through, man. Always in the paint. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to the Intellectual Soapbox. He is part of where I got my start from. You know what I'm saying? So we always got to make sure that we big up those who big up us, because we all we got.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, my nigga. You already know, Brody. What you got?
Man, I just popped. I seen you was on. I was of course, I'm probably, well, what I was doing was I was putting on my shorts on my channel.
Okay.
And
You've been really cranking those out, by the way.
yeah, they mad entertaining though. They're funny.
Hey, bro. Yeah. You've been hitting them with the shorts, bro. I noticed you've definitely picked up on that, so that's what's up, bro. Just keep on going, bro.
Yeah,
You know
man. So I was putting that out. I knew you were gonna be live pretty soon, so I looked up. I seen you were live, so I said, let me hop on. So um
All right.
I am following where you at. Salute to OG. Good to see you. Salute.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right, so well, listen, this is Krissy's show, so I mean you gotta make sure you greet the host as well, Brody.
Oh yeah, salute to the sister
Yeah,
Krissy.
bro. This ain't my show, bro. This is
I
her show,
subscribe
bro.
to her channel on YouTube. I see you don't have a lot on their family. And if you do want to be a part of our Instagram group, please let me know. Smitty's already in there. He posts things here and there. But yeah, like if you want to be part of the Instagram group as well, I can add you to that as well, family.
That sounds good. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate that.
So
Oh,
we
most
are
definitely.
going to go ahead and get to this video, right? I mean these questions. So now, Krissy, you're gonna go ahead and take the floor back, beloved. Yeah, sure. So let's go ahead and see what we got. You ready for the first one?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. So tonight we're talking about love and how the mystical aspects of it works. Let's see what we got. Question number 1 reads: Do you want to read them or
That's
me?
fine.
Okay, I'll read them. Okay. So, what does it mean to withhold love from others, from ourselves, or from life itself? Explore the different faces of withholding: fear, resentment, pride, right? Protection, trauma. What do you have for that?
There's so much that I could speak on with this particular question.
One more time. So, what does it mean to withhold love from others, from ourselves, from ourselves? Exploring the different faces of withholding: fear, resentment, pride, protection, and trauma. What do you got for that, beloved? All right.
The answer that I have for that is deprivation. We deprive ourselves of so many things when we withhold love, specifically from ourselves. Because if you don't hold something within yourself, if you don't have it for yourself, you can't give it to anyone else. So it's incredibly important that we start there. Withholding love from others, again, is deprivation. And to do so, as is said in the question, we do that with fear, resentment, pride, protection, through trauma. And then withholding life itself is to deny the beauty of existence, which again is deprivation, and it's unnecessary.
Oh shoot. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't even know he meant that. I got you. Relax. Go ahead and keep going. Relax, Brody. I'm gonna drop the link, okay? It's copied. All right, it's there. I didn't know you couldn't see it. I apologize. Come on up. There you go. Rock out. You got it.
No. He was talking about he asked, he was saying I didn't get an invite. World, I see how it is, but he was talking about me not inviting him to the Instagram group. No, you can come through. OG, just send me your IG. I don't know if it's by that name. I'll look it up right now. I'll add you right now.
Hold on. You got them right here.
Okay. OG, what's your Instagram?
Wait. Stop. Nobody does nothing when you come in the door. OG, greet the hostess first.
It's nice to meet you, Chris. I'm just learning who you are right now because I was listening. Even got her name right. Nice to meet you. What's up, Smitty? What's up, World? How you doing, brother?
Good. I found you already. I just followed you. I found you already. I'm about to add you to the group.
Okay.
All right. So, because I don't want her show to get diverted. Like, honestly, I know we're used to the typical. I'm not, I know exactly the mode she wants to stay on, and I want to stay on that. So I appreciate
if you're here, I'd love to have your take on love and how you perceive it and how it works for you or doesn't work for you, or if it's working.
Well,
Alkaline, that's on you.
You'll get honest answers from me.
I wouldn't expect anything else. I'm just saying.
Well, there's a little caveat there that should be mentioned, is that sometimes people don't know or have never learned honestly what love is or what a lot of different feelings mean. And I have a perfect example, but I don't want to veer off. So I'm just saying there is a caveat there. Some people really don't know whether it be they've been denied it their whole lives, or they're just ignorant to these facts. It can happen. So yeah, some people they deny other people because they don't know.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the issue and the reason why I even wanted to do this and this be the topic is to explain love as more than just as Smitty said at the beginning of this, as an offering or a gesture. It's literally a vibration. It's a frequency that anyone can tap into. It doesn't matter what your surroundings are, what your circumstances are. Once you cleanse the lens of perception, you put yourself in the ability to allow for it. And that's the most important part, is the allowance. But you have to get out your own way. And I am here as the full expression. I am the embodiment of love, the full embodiment of love. I claim it. It is who it is that I am. And anyone that knows me knows that that's true, because I come from a place of love at all times. And so I'm here to express it so that more people can understand that they really are surrounded by it. It is the pulse of this planet. But I couldn't agree with you more. There are people that have faced certain things, certain elements of fear, certain elements of trauma that have put them in position to not even understand what love is. but it's something that's innate. It's our truth, the truth of our being, so much so that when you don't have it, it affects your being in such a way that you can't give it, you can't receive it, because you're not in the truth of it. And I'm here to expose the truth. And the truth is, you are so incredibly loved. Loved from every aspect of your being, multidimensionally in this physical reality. You are so incredibly loved.
Krissy, can I ask you a question, beloved?
Of course.
All right. So let's say to nowadays and how we know the dangerous world is, what would you say to the man that's a little more tough around the edges? And he's like, you know what, bump all this love. How's love gonna protect me in this life? Like, I mean, because all of these things will come, that way. So I'm just curious, like, like we know that we're loved, right? But
do
what
we?
I'm saying, you know something?
Oh man, I
Dude.
want to clip this.
So go ahead, get in there. So I can, because I'm uploading stuff. Please, fellas, y'all take it away.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
I'm out.
I was just talking about this. No, somebody come back, please. I was just talking about this, right?
I'm listening. I'm just backstage. I got
I got you. I was talking about this just now with I was having a business talk with one of my business partners, and I was just conferring with them about how I do business. And how I do business, I'm really just, nice and cool and chill. In my personal life, I'm not saying I'm not that, but in my personal life, it could be a struggle to always be in a manner of love because people like to play around, like to play in your face, and they like to, kind of move a certain way. And me, I shoot first and ask questions later. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is that I don't know if I can curse here or not. If I can't curse, somebody pop up and tell me I can't because I'm about to. But a motherfucker ain't just not trying to be loving because they don't want to be loving. People aren't loving because of the things that they experience, right? This is so cool. That's me throwing stuff here. You know what I mean? And I'm not loving because I don't want to be loving. It's just because I've learned how to not be loving. I've had to compartmentalize a lot of things in my life just based on trying to survive. So based on that, yes, I'm not always in that manner, right? I have to fight to be that. I have to fight and pray and think and have good thoughts and have positive conversations to be that way. I have to do therapy to be that way. It ain't just a simple thing.
Real quick.
For me to be like that.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right, my bad. Hey, so please and thank you. Look, Krissy's show is complete tranquility. On my show, can you curse or whatever? Sure. This is not my show. I need you to understand.
Okay. I know if I couldn't or not. My bad.
No. Yeah, if you don't hear her cursing, don't you curse, please.
Yeah, I got it. My bad.
That's you. You want to keep her as
Yeah.
queen.
So, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. People not trying to be a certain way. You know what I mean? But a lot of times they're just prone to be that way. They learn. It's a learned behavior. They may want to be different, and they may want to not, be a certain way or act a certain way. But it's through their experience. It's through the things that they suffered. It's through the things they've been through, right? So of course you want to give love. As children, we love naturally. You know what I mean? We want to have fun. We want to play, and we like to go out and be in the coloring books and go to the playground and do the jungle gym and all that stuff. And those things are great, right? Those are great experiences. But as we get older and we get into adulthood, a lot of stuff starts to fade away. And that fades away due to the things that we face, due to traumas and everything else.
So
But
can
I
I
do
speak?
believe. Oh, I'm sorry. Fam. I'm gonna land real quick. But I think that's why we have to continually fight to get to that space because that's where we all want to be, right? Naturally, that's where we all want to be in a space of love, in a space of just not allowing our traumas and things of that nature to dictate how we move. So I'll land there.
Okay. And thank you. And I respect everything that you said, but you proved every single point that I made prior to you coming on, which is
Okay.
that which is that We see life and we experience life through the lens of our perceptions. And once you take accountability to the fact that the changes that you've made in your being have happened because from your childhood to this point in your life where you've compartmentalized and you've introduced suffering into your life, which is the survival mode, which is fear-based, which is the opposite of love. Once you take accountability and actually see yourself so that you're not playing, and not that I'm saying that you are, but this comes from a victim mentality where things are happening to you, not for you, not through you, but things are happening to you. So you see them from a negative perspective and it makes you guarded, and it stops it. You begin to fight the current. And once you learn and once you fully take in the fact that you are the ocean, you no longer fight the waves. But the fact is, you're still walking through life through the understanding and through the element of fear. And fear will drown out love every time. It's the opposite energy. So it's not a matter of you not being able to. It's a matter of you not allowing yourself to. And that does come, like cleansing your lens, can definitely come from therapy, coaching, different methods, which is again why I'm here. I've been able to cleanse. I've been able to walk through the hellacious moments of life unscathed, to the point where I've been baptized under fire or through fire. And where it is that I've come out is a beautiful understanding. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, because not only have I fallen in love with all that is in life, but I've also fallen in love with my pain. And falling in love with my pain was the most empowering thing I've ever done, because it allowed me to make change to my life. It allowed me to see things from a different perspective. And this particular purview that I have, I wouldn't trade. I would never want to go back to compartmentalizing, walking through life in survival and fear, and putting blame on my circumstances as to why I act and react the way that I do. I'm here to express emotional intelligence. And it's incredibly empowering. It's incredibly powerful. A lot of people know their IQ, but they don't know their EQ. You know how smart you are, but you don't know how well that intelligence is affecting your overall being.
I hear you, family. I definitely hear you. I me for myself, I'm always gonna want to have that switch that I can hit. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. So, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes I gotta hit the switch on people. I just have to. You know what I
Well,
mean? And
that's
I
an
don't
ex-
want to, but there's times I just have to. You
there
know, so
that's
they
an
can have an
expression.
understanding with my boundaries and my boundaries and my standards are. You know, and I have to make it really clear.
Having boundaries is having self-love. That is not expressing the opposite of love to someone. That is you disciplining someone through your own understanding of love of self. There's literally nothing wrong with that at all. That's actually a beautiful thing. It's one of the things that I definitely intend on reaching more of an audience with, because it's something that I had to learn within myself. I love me enough to not deal with your BS. You need to take that elsewhere. At the same token, there is duality, right? I can be just as sweet and loving as I can be vindictive if I make that decision. But everything is a decision. Love is a decision. Joy is a decision. Peace, a decision. Happiness is a decision. Nothing's being impressed upon you. You decide. That's what makes you the God of your existence. You decide. And when you're sitting in a position of blame for circumstances, you're giving your circumstances away all of your power. You're giving everything power over you and your abilities. And you're much more strong, beautiful, and innately joyful and loved than to fall victim to the things that happen to you. Life is going to happen. Things are going to happen. That's the whole point of this. The point is to expand through the existence of our circumstance, through this life, through this 3D existence. It's an expansion here. So you can fight your entire life to accumulate a bunch of stuff, or you can work through your being and allow yourself to be loved and to be the outpouring of love, and to not allow for these things to dictate who it is that you are and how you show up. I landed there.
Well, some of these things I didn't have a choice as far as it happening to me, because a lot of these things happened during childhood, so I didn't have a choice.
I
You
can,
know what I mean?
when I tell you you're preaching to the choir, every single person has a story. And I'm going to be honest with you. 80% of people are glad it didn't happen to them, and 20% of people don't care. Okay.
Oh, fact.
So, with that said, you still can't use that as the crutch. You can't use that as this is the place of my hurt. That's not growth. That's stagnation and being stunted. And there's no point in that. Just because of what happened to you from your childhood does not mean that needs to be the embodiment of your being and your spirit now.
Most definitely, most definitely. I am not I'm not disagreeing with your sentiment. What I'm saying is that yes, you don't want those things to control you, or to control how you respond or how you react. Of course, right? I'm not disagreeing with that. But also have an understanding that at times, based on my human nature, those things will come into play. You know what I mean? They will. You know what I mean? Of course, I would want it to be every time. It's like if you're playing sports, yeah, every time you want to make the basket or every time you want to hit a home run, that'll be nice, right? I mean, I think every athlete or anybody who's trying to succeed in anything wants to have, a dynamic where they have responses that are seamlessly happening. But that at times that may not happen. At times you may not have the best of days or whatever else. You know what I mean? Or there may be things that happen that make you feel away. But
Absolutely.
it's in having that emotional maturity,
Exactly.
and also being emotionally aware of where you're at, so that way you have the tools to combat it. Because sometimes instead of me reacting, I'll just be quiet, meditate, pray, and then work my way through it. You know what I mean?
Because
Because maybe that's the best way.
this is a process of progression, not perfection. You're not here to be perfect. You're not here to make the best shot every time. You're here to keep trying for the shot to get better and better and better, to be better today than you were yesterday. You're in competition with yourself continuously. That's what this whole existence is. What does anything matter if you're not here to experience it, right? Your lens is the one that matters. The triggers that are around you, they exist for a reason, because they're there to highlight what you still need to heal, what you still need to work on. And the fact that you take it through meditation and that you take it into your quiet space so that you can effectively process is a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. And so is still being triggered, because it gives you the ability, like I said, to really see what needs to be transmuted, what needs to be alchemized, what needs to be brought into your purview so that you can work through it in that moment. Because you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be joyful. You deserve to be empowered. If that makes sense.
Right. So, are we ready for question
Absolutely,
number
family. Yeah.
two?
Go
All right.
ahead,
You
Smith.
ready?
You know that.
Yeah. Just to keep the show rolling. All right. So let's go ahead, everybody. We're getting ready to get to question number two. So listen, on this one, this is how we're gonna go ahead and work it. So, boom. All right. So, Jed, it's your turn. So, after I read the question, of course, the hostess is going to respond first, and then from there, you can get the first response after that, Jed. Okay. And floor is open from there. So let's go to the next question. The next question reads, what does question number two say? Question number two said, is this two? Yes. What pain do you carry when you choose to express? Hold on. What pain do you carry? What pain do we carry when we choose not to express love? Okay, there we go. How does unspoken love turn into regret, disconnection, or emotional weight? One more again for the win. What pain do we carry when we choose not to express love? How does unspoken love turn into regret, disconnection, or emotional weight? You got the floor, beloved.
So my answer to that is, you don't get what you are. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. right? So what it is that you express, what it is that you radiate outward is going to be returned back to you in kind. As above, so below. It's also you reap what you sow. It's also karma. You can call it whatever you like. But these things that you express, that you manifest within your being based on the way in which you speak to yourself, the way in which you speak to others, the way in which you love yourself, the way in which you withhold that love from yourself, all of that comes back to you. And the most painful feeling is disconnection. It's when you feel you're loneliest and that there's no one there to love you. And the truth couldn't be further from that. But to me, that is the ultimate aspect of withholding love, is the disconnection from the truth, your innate truth, which is we come from a place of love. When we leave here, we return to a place of love. We are all here just walking each other home, and it should be through the expression of love. But if you don't embody it, you can't give it. You can't give something that you just don't have. You got to have it to give it. And so it's important to feel it within yourself, to take the time to uncover what's not allowing you to feel it so that you can move forward, so that you can ascend, so that you can get closer to the highest vibration. And that's what I have to say about that.
You got the floor.
I got you. Sorry, I was trying to get the onions on.
You next, so Jay.
Sorry if I sound a little winded. I ran over here. My fat ass. My fat butt was is out of shape. But if you ask me the question directly, and I answer it as I would feel, for me, the pain that I would look back upon that would prevent me from expressing love would probably be self-doubt. It would probably be self-doubt because of past experiences, and automatically a defensive barrier comes up, and I wouldn't want to set myself up to be disappointed. Now, I've learned over the years that's not the way to do things, but it took trial and error. But if you ask me the question, that's how I would look at it. And that's the particular pain that I would look at that would prevent me from expressing the love that, the random person deserves, in my honest opinion.
Jed, have you healed that aspect of yourself? Like, have you forgiven yourself for what it is that you felt that you missed out on in that self-doubt?
In the self, you know what? It's a work in progress. I don't think you'll ever really get over it, but as long as you continue to work on it, you'll always be able to improve. There's always room for improvement in anything in life.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe that. So, and I strive to get to that spot, but it's a bumpy road. It really is.
Can I help you just really quickly, only because I've been there?
Sure.
The best way for me to transmute that energy was to truly sit in the feeling and the relationships that it costed me, the issues that it costed me in my life, and the ramifications from all of those experiences. And I was able to sit and understand myself from a perspective that I didn't understand myself in then. And so I had to learn and understand what true forgiveness is, because forgiveness is empty unless it's filled with compassion. And when I began to have compassion for who it is that I am, true compassion for what it is that I've been through, the real understanding of the depth of myself, it became a lot easier to forgive myself and to forgive those around me, because they could only give to me what it is that they had to offer. And to really envelop and take in the fact that it's okay. It is okay. It's okay that it wasn't perfect then, because who it is that I am now, it's only getting better. It's only in the act of progression at this point. Because like you said, We're always in an element of learning. There's never an end to this. But there's a reason why we're here right now talking and having this conversation. It's all because you have been pulling this shift within you. And now you're somehow attracted me into your world through Smitty, through this whole situation. So that hopefully through our conversation you can now begin to transmute and understand that it really is forgiveness. And forgiveness is the ultimate expression of self-love. It's not easy, but man, is it worth it.
I don't disagree with that, but here's my counterpoint. Forgiving is a whole lot easier than forgetting. That's the main problem. It's not so much you can forgive a person for the most horrendous thing. You can forgive yourself for making foolish for making a foolish decision. Right? The forgiving that comes pretty easy. It's the forgetting
You're
because
not
it stays there.
you're not meant to forget. You're definitely not meant to forget. The reason why the memory stays because that's the point of understanding. That was where it started. That was where the beginning of the transmutation of that energy started. That's how it all began, was because of this atrocity or this difficulty or this challenge that happened in your life. This person presented something in you that showed you a new aspect of yourself. So forgetting and then understanding that it was really all part of this magnificent plan to bring the best of you forward. You don't need to forget. You don't need to forget. You just need to understand and have a different perspective. Because through the forgiveness, I forgive you. I no longer hold this against you. I no longer carry this within me. But the remembrance is becoming whole. I said this in the last podcast. There is dismember. To dismember is to break things apart. To remember is to bring it back together into your wholeness.
That's a good way to look at it. That's the first time I've heard it like that. That's interesting. I like that.
So you're coming into the fullness of your spirit and the understanding that you were supposed to remember. You're always supposed to remember. You should never forget who you are. You should never forget. And of course, those boundaries, when people cross you and they do things that show you who they are, you don't repaint them. You keep them in your mind's eye so that you don't ever have to cross that bridge again. Some people are meant to wither away.
When I say remember, though, you do. I'm pretty sure you do understand when I say this. When I say remember, right, it's the disdain that comes with the memory because the feeling comes with, you know how certain smells will bring on a feeling. Well, the remembering sometimes bring on that
Then you need to keep working on the forgiveness, because if it's bringing disdain, then that's the element of forgiveness. That's not, you're still holding something there. You're still drinking the poison, expecting it to hurt the other person.
No. I don't mean it as I'm explaining it wrong, and I want to make sure I say this right. When I say I forgive a lot of people, I forgive a lot of people for a lot of things that have gone on, and I've forgiven myself for some of my bad decisions and some of my bad behaviors and stuff like that. But when I go back and I relive it in my mind as the memory, I can't help but remember what that felt like at the time. The forgiveness is there. When I forgive someone, I forgive them, and it's a done deal. Nothing is going to take that back. But it's still that sting is still there somewhat. I don't harp on it, if you know what I mean. It's not something that I dwell on, but the fact that it's still there, that's why I say it's easier to forgive than to forget. Because forgetting, for me, if you can forget that feeling, forget that you went through that and you moved past it.
So then transmute that disdain to gratitude. Gratitude for being able to look at that individual and to see them for who they are, to understand that you have a perspective of who that person is, and be grateful for the fact that you never have to go there again because you've learned, because you've put up the boundary, because you're smart enough to know how to move beyond this situation. The disdain just needs to be transmuted. Going back to that and saying, oh my goodness, thank God that happened because now I see you. And it's okay. I don't hold this against you. Just know and understand. I want you to fly high, just way over there, way, way over there, out of my view. Just fly high, but just way over there. That's okay.
That's a good take. That's a good take on it. That's something something I could actually attempt. No, actually, I can actually do that, and that's something that's I like that.
Good. I'm
Okay,
glad.
you're giving me something there. That's something I could work with.
Good. Very good. That makes me happy. That's what I'm here for. Okay. I think I'm ready.
My bad. I was on mute. I apologize. So, everybody, are we ready for the next question?
I am.
All right, definitely. I apologize. No, I ran to the restroom. You have been rocking out, I swear. I thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Because You're Listening. So, we're going to get to the next question. Oh, we got her in the building, y'all. And as always, you know we got to salute and give it up to the family. Everybody give it up for the oh so wonderful, the oh so lovely, my sister, Miss Sunkiss.
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Same children.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You
Hello,
know
hello.
what's first. Okay now. So I apologize. Okay, all right, Beth. So Soap said he'll be right back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get wait 1 second. Bah, there he is. All right, so I can go ahead. Listen, people, definitely. So help me out, bro. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you over here. Soap, I haven't eaten today. Okay, all right.
The chef?
Me and Krissy talked, bro. Look, me and Krissy talked about it. I eat 1 meal a day, and I think I might talk about that and the health benefits. Now, real talk. So hold it down for me. All right, you definitely hold on. You and Sunkiss. Hold it down. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. I just want to go ahead and get some dinner in me. What I want to do is I just want to pull up this next question first, please, so we can get through that one. So I'm just going to pull it up real quick, and I'm gonna read it off and let's get it going. All right, everybody ready? Let's do it. So, what number are we on? 3. Okay. Question number 3, and I thank everybody for tuning in. This is episode 2 of Because You're Listening. So this question right here reads, in what ways might withholding love feel safer than offering it? And how does that safety become a prison? One more again for the win. In what ways might withholding love feel safer than offering it? And how does that safety become a prison? I.e., touch on different mechanisms, self-protection, and the illusion of control. I digress. My mic is muted. You got the floor, Krissy. This is your show. So hold it down. I'll be right back.
Honestly, I would love to hear this lovely panel that has decided to grace me with your presence on what you feel about this question before I speak on it. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add or interject based on this question? Okay. Everybody's muted, so I take this to no. Well, The illusion of control is more what I'd like to speak on than anything else pertaining to this. There seems to be this understanding that love is something that you have this ability to withhold, but we've seen time and time and time again in relationships where you want to walk away, but you're connected and it's difficult, and that's not just in a romantic relationship. That's friendships, that's family, supposed family, your relatives. Um, and there's an illusion of control over the sense of connection that you can have with someone. It definitely does take self-love to be able to put yourself in a position to have boundaries. However, that doesn't mean I've pulled myself away from people and love them from afar because of their toxicity, because of their inability to truly see and respect my personage. Um, but withholding love can definitely feel safer than offering it. However, I can tell you from my perspective, the more that I give love, the more that I outpour love into my environment, the more it's received by me. I have people that tell me that they love me all day long, and it's such a beautiful feeling. So, I mean, that's what I have to say about that.
All right. So, who's next? Okay, so please help her direct, bro. All right, so who's next on the question? Who's gonna answer? Soap, are you going last?
I was gonna let the sister go next.
Oh, hold on now. God dang it, Jim. We got my peoples in the building, man. Man, shout out to my folks, man. We gotta give it up for my sister from another mister. And she knows I loves her. Okay, now. Where's that intro for you, baby girl? Here we go.
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Sing, children. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets.
What's going on? You on mute? Can she hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Oh, wait, there we are. Sorry, I didn't even realize you were talking to me. What's good, family?
Hey, there she go.
What's up, girl? Hold on. My bad. Hold on. Trying to do this the right way. All right, hold on. Trying to do this the right way. Trying to do this the right way. Trying to do this the right way. God dang it. It's like playing Legos. I don't understand. Okay. Bye. There we go. Finally. Okay. Y'all rock out. I'm eating food.
Sure. First and foremost, peace, love, and much respect to the queen of the house, Miss Krissy. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for asking. How are you, you beautiful soul?
All is well, darling, and thank you for asking. I'm glad your day is well. Hey to the panel, how you doing, Smitty, and all of that. So I've been enjoying. I was listening. My daughter came by, so we were both really sitting here listening to all the different points that were being made and things of that nature. So of course I decided I would go ahead and jump in because as myself and someone else were talking today, I'm an overthinker, self-proclaimed overthinker, right? So I feel like I think from a lot of different perspectives all at the same time. So I'd love to get into here, and I don't hear any other females. So I came up here to represent for the females and whatnot. But yeah, nonetheless, safety if it's my turn. If not, I'll wait my turn.
No, please, by all means.
Okay, thank you. I feel like I've been a victim of myself. I tell people all the time, I'm in love with love, and not just in relationship male to female. I mean, in perspective or with regards of, I know what it's like to be absent of love, or to feel that you are absent of love. And so I almost go out of my way to want to make someone feel some type of love in whatever perspective I think that they receive it, whether it's a joke, whether it's a listening ear, whatever it is. Now, on the flip side of that, that has also cost me because I tell people all the time, I got comfortable, and so I stopped paying attention to those that were assigned and started just picking up projects to stay busy, or because I became fascinated with the ability to learn people or to hear people or to relate and connect with people. So then I became overwhelmed and got hurt a lot, fought through the whole forgiveness and the moving on and learning how to separate myself and still show love to you, but like you said, from way over here, so on and so forth. And in that became a prisoner, because then it was like I couldn't love people I couldn't love people with a clean slate. It was almost like I was morphing in the lessons that were learned with a pre-gained checklist. Hey, if you do this, 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 and this, it's too familiar to that, and that. So I'm out. And then I found that I wasn't giving people the opportunity to, like you said, be themselves, and then make a decision based off of allowing people to be themselves. And all of that to say, I think you do yourself a disservice when you make yourself or to some extent make yourself a prisoner of your safety. Yes, be safe, but don't be a prisoner of your safety. And I'll land there.
That was an absolutely beautiful expression. What I will say that I read in everything that you just said is people pleasing, and you had a tendency to people please at the sacrament of yourself. You were sacrificing yourself to keep other people happy, regardless of what was going on in your own personal world. And then you accepted projects, which is what I used to do. It's called the broken wing syndrome, where I can see you, I can see the potential in you, and I just want you to rise to that potential that I see in you. And what that did for me was set me up for a significant amount of disappointment, because I would label people with expectation of the potential that I saw in them. And then I had to realize that if they never see that potential within themselves, no matter how much I pour into them, they're never going to rise to that potential, and they're going to always set me up for disappointment.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is. You're right. It's fact.
I absolutely agree. I don't know if so much, and break this down for me, because I love different perspectives, of course. So I'm really just trying to learn a different perspective. People pleasing. But to me, it wasn't like, I didn't see it as people pleasing. So maybe that's something I need to see that from that perspective. I was seeing it from, if I meet you and I feel like my purpose in your life or my introduction in your life, I realize that maybe you just haven't experienced a person who's realistic, or maybe you just haven't experienced a person who just loves you for free. So okay, you'll experience that with me, because that's just who I am. I feel like I know what it's like when you don't get it. So I've just always been a person that is like, yeah, cool. But it wasn't to please them. It was more so just because I don't see why not.
Which is a beautiful thing, as long as it's not an expense of you and your peace.
Yes, ma'am. That part I agree with. But I feel like love is free. Is the
for sure. I like anyone that follows me, knows me, reads anything that I post, will know and understand that I fully feel that I am the embodiment of love. I post I love you all the time, because I genuinely do. I love people. I don't necessarily like them, but I definitely love people. With that said, though, I went through that phase of people pleasing, and people pleasing is an element of fear. It's fear, because I was so afraid that I wasn't going to be loved the way that I felt that I needed to, or the way that I deserved to. And then I went around and picked up projects. I picked up projects. Oh, look at this little broken wing over here. Let me see if I can fix this. This has never been loved. And what ended up happening is that I encountered succubi. I ended up encountering these individuals that will take everything from you and leave you dry. And then when you need them, you're sitting around looking around going like, well, where is I've been pouring into you and pouring into you. And Smitty will tell you, I've told him, and I will say it again, my cup runneth over. Therefore, I can pour from my saucer into anyone. But what's in my cup is my reserve. And as long as you're not pouring from your cup, as long as you know that you have what it is that you need for you, give them that love. Give them that expression. They may need to encounter you, but not at the expense of you. It should never feel like it's a burden. It's burdensome. It's hurtful. It should never feel like, because you don't deserve that. And no one in your circle deserves to put that on you.
Agreed.
Okay.
I know OG is next, but I got so much to say, but
Yo, World, you can go ahead of me. That's it. Well, go, yeah, jump on ahead, because sometimes I'm gonna get a little long-winded. So go ahead.
no, Melissa, you funny by saying that I said something and not saying it was me that said it.
I ain't want to put your business in the street.
I don't care. But nah, yeah, you can definitely put yourself in a prison by doing that, and not allowing yourself to be loved or to love others. That could definitely be a prison. Um, but in that, at times it could be, at least in my estimation, it could be a necessary function of how you got to be. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Is it something that you should do all the time? No. I do believe in avoiding all extremes. The word says that. But when I say the word, I mean the Bible. Not to be religious, but that's just the context of where I get it from. So yeah, I avoided all extremes, but at times, yeah, you do got to kind of, as I say, flip the switch and not really show no love or show any compassion or show anything. Ooh, chocolate earth in the building. Salute. What up, chocolate? Um, you know what I mean? But outside of that, like, yeah, for the most part, show love, man. It's a good thing, when you can. But at times if you don't want to or you don't know how to or whatever, that's gonna happen too. But love is something that we are always learning and we're always growing from. It's not something that we can, that it's always evolving. So we always are evolving in the way that we love and how we love people. You know what I mean? So, um, you know what I mean? And that can take time, and that could take us, learning ourselves and learning other people. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? At different spaces and places in their life. So it is what it is. I land there.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, though. It really is an element of learning yourself, which is the whole point of this. The whole point of every aspect of this existence is for you to come back to you. All of it. To learn you, to understand you, to develop you, to evolve you. It's an evolutionary path. Hopefully, an evolutionary path of ascension. It can be descension. For some, it is. But for most of us who are, as Smitty puts it, the lamps, it's an ascended walk. We're walking upward and onward. And you're absolutely right. I mean, you have to learn how to express yourself in balance, because balance is the key to everything, right? So you don't want to give in spades if you're not receiving in the same way. That's just exhausting. We need to give
That
more.
that,
Absolutely,
that
family.
definitely can.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Go ahead, OG. My bad.
That definitely can be exhausting. I like when it was brought up earlier that people pleasing can definitely put you in somewhat of a prison, and it is from a place of fear. And I have nothing to come back to that. That's a complete and finite definition right there. That's exactly what people pleasing is. My thing is with the way we're discussing this. Chocolate just mentioned something like with me. It's one thing to have empathy. All right. It's another thing to show empathy because for me, it seems as though if you show too much empathy, sometimes it'll come back and bite you. Now, if you are somewhat intelligent, you'll be able to figure that out and work your way through it. But at what point, Chris, this is directed to you in specific, at one point are we sliding on a slippery slope where we get close to narcissism with all the self-love?
That is actually a very good question. The true definition of a narcissist is someone that cannot see themselves. Whenever I think of a narcissist, I think of a vampire. Right? You're sitting in an element of feeling that you have it all. You're unstoppable. You're this being, but yet you'll suck someone dry. When there's the fine line between self-love and narcissism is the understanding of growth and not being impervious to growth, because narcissists won't grow. You can't see, if you can't see who it is that you are, you have one and only one perspective. Narcissism in and of itself is the extreme element of survival. It means you've gone through something for the most part, or it's someone that's never been told no and doesn't understand the meaning of no and won't accept it. But it's because you can't see yourself. You can never grow there. Self-love is growth. It's an expression of growth at its finest being. It's when you understand that you are sacred, that this whole experience is sacred, that you are eternal, and that this 100 years, if that's what we're granted, is a dream.
Chris, you gotta link your channel because I gotta go to your channel. I need to subscribe.
This is her channel. You're right here. You're right here. Just stay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, welcome, Jed. But yeah, this whole experience truly is an experience of love. And the more that you take it in, the more it's going to present itself to you. That's one of the universal laws, right? And so, which is it's infallible. It doesn't need to be recited or understood. It just is the law of gravity. We're just here. We're just stuck. And so when you understand the universal law, then you understand the fact that everything is the way that it is to express you and who it is that you are in your fullness. And love is that full expression. It's the highest frequency for a reason. There's nothing like it on the planet. It calms everything. It quashes everything. When there's a true, pure expression of love, there is no animosity, no disdain, no fear, no rejection. There's only acceptance.
OG, I can give you more, if I may. I can give you more of a definition of what you're talking about, right? I can kind of clarify a little bit more, if I may. So I'll say this: there's a movie that I like to reference called Dracula Untold, and there's a point in the movie where like he transforms and like he goes from like being like a monster and he just turns back into a human being, right? He just does it seamlessly, right? Um, and I can relate to that because my dark side is an incubus. You know what I mean? Completely to the full. You know, where I'm self-serving, I'm self-seeking. I don't really care about anybody. It's all about me. It's all about what I can gain and what I can get. You know, and I will use whatever it takes, money, sex, whatever it takes to get what I want. You know what I mean? That's my dark nature. And I'm fully aware of that. So, um, in order to avoid that, I have to always keep myself balanced. I got to keep myself in prayer. I got to, you know, um, I mean, violence as well. I'll use that if I have to. Threats, manipulation, whatever, mental games, emotional games, spiritual games, whatever I have to use to get my way, I would do it in my dark nature. And I have done it. I'm not proud to say that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. Um, but that takes me that took me growing, and that takes me continuing to grow to not um to not, become that or even delve into that energy. So I'm in there.
And I will say that everything that you just expressed as far as your shadows, it's all fear, all of it. It's standing in ego. And I broke down ego in the last podcast. People have a huge misconception of the understanding of ego. Your ego is you right now. It's the embodiment of your soul. It's who it is that you are in this experience, in this life. With that said, ego is physical. It stays in fight or flight. It's also the part of your mind that keeps you doing the same thing over and over again because it's familiar. In your mind, you have, I love the tetrahedrons, by the way. Thank you, Smitty. In your mind, you have this need for survival, because and with that, if you survived yesterday doing A, B, and C, then we're going to do A, B, and C again today. And that's why cognitive dissonance exists, which is the pain of change. So, and understanding yourself from where it is that you are. But everything that you literally expressed as far as your shadow, which is your duality, and you make a decision every day, you need to forgive yourself. It's a beautiful thing that you're able to see it. Because of the fact that you're able to see it means that you're able to transmute it and change it. So coming from fear and sitting in an element of fear and the need for survival will make you ruthless. Will put you in position to put yourself first out of self-preservation. That's innate. That's natural. But it is also primal. And it stems from ego. And unfortunately, because of all the noise and the distraction and the fact that we forgot, fear is almost everything that's established in you as far as your systems are concerned. From religion, most religion is fear-based, all the way to watching the news and listening to society's rhetoric. It's all fear-based. So it puts you in this fight or flight, which is a horrible place to be.
All right. So what we're going to do very briefly, everybody, we are going to take a very, very brief, quick commercial woosah. And this commercial woosah is brought to you by a very, very beautiful distance. And this show was brought to you by the oh so lovely hostess, Miss Krissy. Let's get it. All right, the time right now is 9:05 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all for watching episode 2 of Because You're Listening. Reese.
I was gonna say too to what you said, family. Um, that of course, yes, I was fully aware of that, and what I was doing, I was a monster, fully aware of that. And I think we got to know the monster inside of us, and that's what allows us not to go back to that. Now, because it can I can easily tap into that energy anytime I want. Um, but I understand the consequences and repercussions of that.
You're
You know what I
always
mean?
one decision away from an entirely different life. Everything is
Say it again?
decision based. You're always one decision away from an entirely different life.
Oh,
Every,
absolutely.
everything
Yeah,
is decision based. Everything is a process within your own mind.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I didn't. I was aware of that, but it didn't come fully known to me until I would say within the last few years, where I was like, yeah, if I want things to change, like you said, doing the same thing over and over again, if I want these things to change, I have to tap in, and elevate,
You have to
go
be
to a high vibration. So
exactly.
yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, go ahead, y'all. Y'all can rock out. I'm here.
And it's interesting because the change doesn't start until you understand that you deserve it. I tell people all the time that we are a generation of putting band-aids over bullet wounds. See, we come from, I don't know if you guys are in my age group, but for the most part, we are still suffering the repercussions of the age of avoidance. We had a generation of complete and total avoidance. We're just gonna sweep that under the rug. And what it did was create a significant amount of mental health issues for a lot of us, because we couldn't even address the things that were going on because it was avoided by the very people that victimized us. And so those things have a tendency to come up. They bubble up in our being. And we put these band-aids over the bullet wounds. And the band-aids are drugs, alcohol, sex, food, relationships that are detrimental to our being. These are the vices that we use to get past the pain. The assignment on my life is to help people transmute that pain, to go in and dig out those bullets so they can stop bleeding on everyone around them and getting mad because they're getting mad for being bled on. It gets old over time. That's why relationships start to dwindle and things start to break apart, because you won't put in the work. And no one can do it for you. You've got to understand that the bullets exist. You've got to be willing to go in and take them out. But once you call that into your being, once you make that decision, everything starts to flow in that direction. Because again, you don't get what you want in this life. You get what you are. Okay. Move on to the next question, Smitty.
That background is fire too.
I apologize for not being too. I mean, you guys know I'm obviously taking part of this. It's just that
real quick, Jed, just out of respect for time frame and everything, we do want to move on to the next question. I do apologize. Now listen, try your best, to get it in. It's okay. We all know, I do it all the time. Like, if you got something to say, whoop, say what you got to say. But let's just make sure we all respect each other. We know how to do this, folks. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's new to this. All right. So what are we on? Question number 4?
We are.
All right. Question number 4. Oh, no. Ooh, that's 6. Question number 4 reads, how can you?
No.
All right. How can you unexpress from the past to someone who's gone?
How can unexpressed love from the past to someone who's gone, or a version of ourselves, still be affecting us now? Think ancestral grief, inner child, and old relationships.
Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you.
Got it. It's no worries. I'm here.
No, let me read it again. Okay. How can unexpressed love from the past to someone who's gone, or a version of ourselves, still be attractive, still be affecting us now? Think ancestral grief, inner child, old relationships. All right. The floor got the floor.
Does anyone want to answer this before I speak on it?
Let's go with ladies first. That's how we generally do it over here, especially when it's more men. So ladies first, and then we're going to, hold on. I think Jed went second, right? So did you go first last time?
I did. He let me go first.
Yep. So, all right. So on this one, we're going to go with Sister Melissa. I said it. All right. So we're going with Melissa. Shout out, beloved. And then we're going to go with Jed. Then we're going to go over here to Mr. Best. I digress. My mic is muted. I thank you all for tuning in. The time right now is, oh my gosh, 9:11 p.m.
Okay,
East Coast Standard Time. Go ahead, Melissa. Respond to this emergency.
Okay, wait. I need the question refreshed, please, because I didn't know I was going first.
Okay, the question is, how can unexpressed love from the past to someone who's gone or a version of ourselves still be affecting us now? Think ancestral grief, inner child, old relationships.
Ooh. Um, mm, I think that it presents stunted growth. For example, I feel like you're frozen in those segments of time. I always use my mother as an example. My mother had my sister when she was 15 and was married also at like 15, 16. In that time, that was what they did. These shotgun weddings, I think, is what it was referred to. Um, so my mother became a mother and a wife very young. And even though my mom is now in her 70s, my mom has a lot of 15-year-old ways. And I think what happened was she's frozen there. She was forced to figure out how to adult love life, all of that right on the spot, and take on responsibilities that propelled her way beyond what she should have been propelled to at 15. And so all of that to say, her inner child and things of that nature are still outwardly expressed in her 70-year-old self. And I see glimpses of that child, glimpses of that teenager, glimpses of that just in certain things that she says, her mannerisms. I recognized that once I started to take on some of her ideologies, that she was teaching me how to be a woman and a mother, and taking and living in those snapshots where it was adult me, but then there was also 15, 12, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and all those other ones that were in there still waiting to catch up. So where that was causing me to kind of crash and burn is that, again, that project, trying to go in there and fix them, trying to gather them all together, trying to figure out who, what, where, when, why, instead of just accepting, according to kind of the moral of all of this, just accepting and then being willing to move forward and allowing all of those people to dissipate into that forgiveness and that love. That's how it worked for me, or that's how it is working for me.
So, and just to ask a question and follow up on that one, did you feel unexpressed love through your experiences with your mother because of her stunted expression of love for her life?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I expressed that when I became a mother. So, like, I say all the time to people, I write poetry and spoken word. And the very first time I caught revelation of that, the first poem I wrote is literally called From Mother. And it's a poem that I find that people like. It's like most people's favorite because it's an apology letter in poetry format. Because I literally am telling them, look, my mom did her best. She taught me, I taught you, but I realized that what I taught you might not have been the healthiest thing. So let me go back, apologize, and then rebuild it according to according to my healed perspective, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Have you given yourself the opportunity to go back and hug your inner child? Because it sounds to me, especially with people pleasing, that at some point in time you experienced abandonment. There was a moment when you felt abandoned. And so
Yeah, I'm still not morphed into the people pleasing part. So I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that because I'm not in full awareness of that perspective yet. But I definitely had to go back in and meet all of those prior selves. And like I said, love them into dissipating into all of them becoming one unified me. Because there was no way I was going to be able to live with 1,000 other versions of myself in my head.
Absolutely. Absolutely, which sounded to me like it was a mechanism, a defense mechanism, like I said, from
Exactly. I was frozen in moments of hurt.
Right.
I wasn't forgiving, or I was replaying. I think I heard somebody say earlier about him forgiving, but not being able to forget it. Yeah, forget it. And so that's what I was doing. It was almost like taking your phone and making videos or making pictures and then keeping them in your memory, or you never put them in the trash. And even if you put them in the trash, you keep going back and recovering them. You never delete them out your phone. And then every once in a while, you open up your phone and scroll through and replay it. It's like, what for? Clean your phone. Your storage is on overload. That's why you can't download new stuff, because you backed up with old stuff.
Exactly. You're holding on to it so tightly nothing can get into a closed fist. You know, you're absolutely right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're holding on to it and unfortunately it becomes almost like this cyclical suffering. You put yourself through this suffering and it's that's that inner child. It's like that's what you're comfortable with. Is somewhere along the way that's what you were taught, and how to deal with things is to hold on to them and constantly replay them. But in essence, you know, my philosophy is that the all is mind. Everything is within your mind. Heaven and hell are states of mind. So why put yourself in hell? What is it within you that you tell yourself that you need to relive that moment in hell again? You don't need to go back. You made it out. It's about looking forward and moving forward in your progression instead of hanging on. But
agreed.
I will.
Are we ready for the next question? I don't know. I'm right here.
I will answer the question based on my understanding of ancestral grief, because there's a lot of things that we don't understand has come from. It took so many people to get you here. That's how special you are. The universe had to conspire in such a way that your parents had to meet in order to bring you here today. So with respect to that, there is, especially in the African American community, there is an exceptional amount of ancestral grief, pain, hurt that needs to be transmuted, because there's a huge disservice to self when you're not expressing love, when you have this unexpressed love. And it can still affect you. As crazy as it may seem, a lot of what it is that we know to be true about life, we learn from our parents. We learn it from our parents learn it from their parents. I love you, Venus. and so with that said, it's a matter of being able to see all aspects of yourself. Like you said, Melissa, that it's a matter of several different perspectives. Having those separate different perspectives, that's called being the observer. That's meaning that you've stepped out of your ego and now you're observing your life from different perspectives. Once you're able to get to that level, you're able to truly transmute energy almost effortlessly, because now you're seeing it outside of yourself and it's not passing through your lens in the same way, because it's not affecting you through your ego in the same way as it would be if you step outside of your ego and go, what is going on with my life and how do I fix it? I went into a meditation years ago and I asked a question because I was going through hell at the time. And I said, how do I transmute my life? How do I change this energy? How do I fix it? And I went into the meditation, and the answer that I received, and every time I go into meditation, I ask a question because that's the moment to receive. The answer that I received was trace root. And I got to tell you, I was mad. in the moment. I'm like, I need you to give me an A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 plan. Don't tell me that I need to trace something. What does that even mean? And I realized then that I not only had to forgive my mother, but I had to forgive my mother's mother and father. My my mother's my father's mother and father, and their parents for the misinformation and the disinformation that was given all the way down the line that made its way to me, that taught me how to deal with things in life, that taught me how to impress myself upon the world. And it was the wrong way to look at things. It was just wrong information. And once I was able to actually trace root to myself, bring it all the way back, that feeling of forgiveness was so empowering that I don't have to touch it again. I don't have to think on it again. I'm grateful for the energy that they gave me because it gave me the ability to move beyond it and to see it for what it is so that I can fix it, so that I can dig out those bullets. Because some of the bullets that I took in, they weren't even mine. I didn't even put myself in position. I was born with them. But they're gone now, and it feels good here.
Mhm.
We good, people? Are we ready for the next question? I'm just checking in. That's all.
I'm ready.
Okay, I think we're on question number 5. Question number 5, and I thank you all for tuning in to Because You're Listening with your oh so wonderful hostess, the beautiful Miss Christina. All right, now, so let's get to the next question. The next question is question number 5. Let's get to question number 5. Wow. All right. How does offering love, especially when it's hard, begin to transmute pain into peace? This is the alchemy. Wow. Let me say that again, people. One more again for the win. All right, now. This is the alchemy. This is the healing. One more again. How does offering love, especially when it's hard, begin to transmute pain into peace? This is the alchemy. This is the healing. Okay, now, so I am out of here. You got the floor, sis. You got it first. Of course, ladies first, and so we know you like to go last anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna speak on this just in the sense of this is basically what I've been saying the entire time is you don't get what you want in life, you get what you are. And if you begin to transmute the pain, feel it, lean into it, you got to feel it to heal it. And when you truly see that transmutation turns into pure love of self, because I became empowered with the fact that I was able to get past these things, that I was able to take these things and juice them. I went through the experience. It was my experience to truly dissect, to dismember, so that I could remember who it is that I am and come back whole and full. And therefore, my experience now are whole and they're full and they're beauty and they're full of love and excitement and this beautiful transmuted energy. Do things still happen? Absolutely. But I've learned how to float. I no longer fight the current. I've learned how to float. So, but I leave this open to the panel with whomever else would like to speak on it.
I'll go back to what I said. I think it still is like having your phone. You choose to have more space by clearing out the clutter, not rehashing, replaying, reversing, going back, and all of those lovely things. And you choose to free up space, the alchemy and things of that nature. I think that is the best way to move forward, is to move forward and free up that space. Literally, the word free is in there. And I think free and peaceful are one and the same. But you have to want to go in there and do it. So you also have to commit that peace and freedom to yourself, if you know how. And if you don't, find out how. I think meditation would be amazing. I've heard that a lot here lately, but no one has told me a name or a space in particular. So if you have that information, I would love to hear it. But yeah, that's kind of where my thoughts are with that.
I love the idea of freedom, right? To me, that's the whole expression of sovereignty. Is to become a sovereign being, is to be free, and that is not to be a victim to any aspect of circumstance or life challenges. It is to truly understand what it is that's happening. It's happening for you. It's happening through you. It's not happening to you. Um, and I will agree though that freeing up the space and giving the ability to receive more. Like I said, tight fists, man, tight fists. You hold something so tight that you don't let anything else in, and you could be holding on to something that's not even as good as what's coming. So,
Okay. Yeah, it's my turn, girl. It's my turn. Okay, now, so I want to go ahead and say something on behalf of the opposite sex. That's right. Okay, now, so there are a lot of us as men. We recognize that the movements of a woman is so majestic. Like when y'all be doing them little dances, and you're clicking little bells and stuff between your thumbs and your index. And just everything, just watching how you move around the house. And I do believe that there's a certain spell that's put on men. And I believe that when you speak about this alchemy, I do believe that that is either a superpower, which is my question. Is it a superpower or is it witchcraft? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. It's scary. It's scary, Krissy, because how so convincing you all can be to us. How so misleading a woman can just take a man down it's such a horrible path. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but guess what? In such a way, in the same breath, a woman can so take a man, I'm talking about from his, let's say, self-esteem or emotional state, and just totally turn that man around and almost make that man forget that he even lost a leg in the first place. It is so amazing how you all have this ability to work what I would consider magic as an IK, not IC, for those who hip. And I wonder, do you believe that, and to land it, do you believe most women use their magical powers for the good and benefit of them and who they're encountering? Or do you believe that most women possibly use it for the benefit of themselves and themselves only? Question only. I am gone. Lover.
Okay, so let me first and foremost say that I will reiterate: you don't get what you want in this life; you get what you are. So if you are receiving that sort of energy, that is something that you are bringing to yourself. It's something that you are calling into you. It's something that you need to learn from. Because if you're coming across people that are coming to you from a negative standpoint, there's something that you're supposed to learn from that person. There's something that's there for you to teach you, to show you, to educate you on, but it's still you. Nobody is doing anything to you, anything more than what you allow to have happen to yourself. So if you're receiving negative experiences, first of all, alchemy is magic, 100% magic. It's only witchcraft if you're dealing with a witch. I don't know any of them. I happen to be an alchemist because I'm able to take that energy, that these things that happen to me, and change my perspective, look at them from the perspective of the observer, and then see that it's coming from love, and draw the love out of it, and transmute that energy into something, as Venus said, is majestic at this point. So I will say that yes, alchemy is a superpower. Alchemy is super consciousness. And so therefore it's definitely a superpower. However, we all have access. We all have the ability. Every last one of us. Do we all tap in? Is it meant for everybody to awaken to this understanding? No. It's too much for some people. You can't, you like you say all the time, Smitty, it's one step at a time. It's really, really difficult. If I were to have my perspective 15 years ago that I have today without having walked the walk to get me here, I would have lost my mind. I would have lost my mind. So, but with that said, yeah, we are magical. The feminine energy, the yang and the yin and yang, we are the portals here. We are the absolute portals here. We bring things from the metaphysical into the physical. You give us anything and we transmute it into something greater. You give us a sperm, we make you a baby. We are the ultimate alchemist. We are always creating energy from the metaphysical into the physical. And yes, it's going to seem like magic to men, the same way it is for a woman to sit and watch men create something with their hands that we can now live and dwell in. I'm not saying that there aren't women that do it. There are exceptions to everything, but I'm saying essentially the physical, it belongs to the male energy. The metaphysical is the female energy. So yeah, we're always working our magic. Always. I live in it. It's a great place to be.
Okay. Well, of course, Sister Melissa, you up next. Soap, you got it after that. I mean, I don't know. And you just let me know when you're ready for question 6. I'm right here. I'm just gonna show.
I'll go way back. Again, all my perspectives. Number one, you said, do I think most women? I don't think any woman. I don't think any woman would. I think under the quote unquote word woman, women are not out to manipulate or possess, or we're not there. Now, and to the agreement of Miss Chris, that's witches and witchcraft. That's a whole different blanket. That's a whole nother set of female. And with that being said, that just is what it is. I also think, or also feel like, the song "What's Love Got to Do with It" with Tina Turner comes to mind when she's talking about chemical reaction and how that whole boy meeting girl thing kind of bubbles up. And I think that that's on both parts, because you need something to go with something. You need baking soda, and we're not going to go into recipes and stuff. But you feel what I'm saying? There's a chemical reaction, like when you're building volcanoes. There you go for science class. Boy.
Yeah. Money on my mind. Money on my mind. Money on my mind. Money on my mind.
Oh my God. So with all of that, I'm just to fast forward a bit. I feel like it takes the two, right? Because think about it. When that chemical reaction goes off, and depending on, like Ms. Chris said, where you decide to transcend that energy, that same waddle that had you smitten when your chemicals were going off is that same waddle that irritate your nerves once that chemical reaction has died down. Now that twitching eye is not sexy no more. Now that limp ain't sexy no more. Now that one short arm is not as cute. You know what I mean? So I think that it has a lot to do with feeling in the moment. What you decide to do with the energy. I don't think it's put on us just as, are all females out here trying to use their love potion number 9 to make you all smitten with us. If that was the case and that was that easy, we wouldn't have victims of domestic and sexual assault. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll just land there. That's my perspective.
Which I completely agree with a lot of what you said. I will say the only thing, and it's like having a side chat with Venus with regard to the word witch. Technically, with the definition of a witch is an alchemist and an apothecary. It's someone that is able to use the elements of the world and transmute energy to take something from being one thing. Like she said, there are sovereign loving witches. Technically, I would be considered a witch in the sense that I am a sage burning, crystal wearing. I believe in earth.
Dark witch?
And there are definitely some dark witches.
So then I'll define that and say, when I say witch, I mean from a dark perspective, not from a light perspective.
And that's exactly that's the key to the understanding is that there are some people that work from the negative aspect of our duality, and there are some people that work from the positive aspect of our duality. We just happen to work in kind of the same way, with the understanding that fire changes things, water changes things, the moonlight, the sunlight, these things are elements that are here that we use to empower ourselves and to empower those around us, because we understand how everything works together, how everything can be alchemized and transmuted and put people into better understanding of themselves and in the world, just based on receiving it. But yes, there is duality and everything exists. And yes, someone can be a very negative person on all respects, and that's to say with everything.
Have you ever, just so I can make sure that the line is clearly defined in my thought process, have you ever used that in a way to make someone go against their will to be attracted to you?
No, absolutely not. For the good of all and to the harm of none. And doing anything pertaining to love is like a love spell or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That has ramifications. For every action, there's a reaction. So there's certain things that you just don't do. Love should come naturally and should not be forced. But what I have done is I've frozen people that were doing negative things to me. They didn't harm them in any way, but I need you to stay away from me and stop trying to hurt me and harm me. So, that kind of thing. But I do firmly stand on for the good of all and to the harm of none. Everything that I do is to benefit someone one way or another, because I am the physical embodiment of love.
Okay. Yeah. So then that put us back on the same page. So then I'll redefine that. When I mean witch, I mean from a dark perspective, not from the perspective that you come from. So I didn't mean to offend the lighter side of that. I meant from the darker side, in the way of using it in a negative way.
Definitely no offense taken. There are so many people that assume that a witch is exactly what was told, that the witch hunts and all of that. Not to digress from the overall topic, but that was in an effort to get rid of the apothecaries and the people that were using everything, all of the elements of the world to heal people. They didn't want that. Modern medicine does not want us to be out here healing and helping. It takes away from the bottom line, which is money making, which is greed. So that was the whole witch hunt, and to get rid of all the witches everywhere. And the practice of holistic medicine was occultish. It was something that was hidden, and it wasn't allowed to be brought into the light because of the ability that we have to benefit those, just based on using everything that's already around us.
I will say this: the characteristic that Smitty was naming, from a female who can definitely bring a man down in that aspect, right? And she's not like a woman who's like an empath or something of that nature. He's talking about like a woman who's a succubus, basically.
And on both respects. There's women narcissists. There's women.
Yeah.
There's 100%. It exists. Polarity and duality in each one of us, and there's a lot of people who are in survival. A lot.
Yeah. And I think that when you spot those traits, you definitely have to be aware of someone who is showing you that, and then just make sure that you're protecting your environment, because those people do exist as well. So you have to just be aware of that. And
can I say this?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm right here. So in a nutshell, what I was speaking of, to elaborate, right? I do recognize how there are individuals who their entire existence is to leech on, and then there are those their entire existence is to pour into, and then there are those of us as the lamps, the luminaries, right? We get it. We recognize you will not survive if you're one of the two only. You must be in a position continuously where not only are you giving into and flooding, just like this river here is flooding into the earth, You must know that the only way that this river is to be able to flood into this local area is because it's coming from a much, much larger body source of water that continuously pours into it itself. Thus, everything around it eats. Everything around it is plentiful. You see? So my point is that you have people in this world who will be those who will either leech off of solely, those who pour into solely. And guess what? If you're one who always gives and you never receive, believe it or not, you're just as much in a dangerous position as the one who only receives.
Absolutely. That was me. I
Because
was
at some point, you're going to burn out. At some point, you're going to
absolutely.
tap. You're going to tap out. I promise you. So
Yep.
you must keep yourself in a nutshell to land it in a position of balance. Your spiritual equilibrium. Maintain it in your position. I digress. My mic is muted. Lovely.
That's why I speak to the understanding of duality and polarity, again, to universal laws that speak to it, it all exists within you. It's all there. It's all you. And it's a matter of understanding the balance between it all, because like I say again, at any given moment you are one decision away from an entirely different life. At some point in time, you realize that you pouring and pouring and pouring and not being filled back up is going to affect you deeply. And either you can make the decision to change that, see it within yourself, see what it's doing to you, and then you have to decide to do something different. Again, that is the God within you. It's the ability to make and take decisions that come in your path. Now, the whole point of cleansing your lens is the perspective that you need to make the most effective decision for your growth, so that you're not having to go back over the same cyclical behaviors, which is why it's important to remember. Because once, and you don't have to remember the exact situation, but just remember what that energy felt like. So when you encounter it again, you go, oh no, I see you. I don't need that again. I understand. I got everything I needed out of that. I'm not doing that again. And that's the progression of growth.
Okay. Melissa, beloved Melissa, are you there? Are you there? Is she there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry. My look, it's just not happening. My fingerprints are like disappearing or something. I don't know. But
Did you say home? Wait. Nah, girl. We'll just glide over stuff over here. You say something, we stop, we pause right there for a second. Yeah, we got time for a commercial break. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, this sponsor break is brought to you by Melissa said her fingerprints are disappearing. That's right. She said her fingerprints are disappearing. Elaborate, man.
I don't care not to, for you know what I'm saying. I don't want to incriminate anything, anybody, no nothing. I don't see the little fair use pop up, no none of that. So
you know what?
I
You know
agree
what?
with-
No,
totally
hold on, wait.
Mm,
Bam, there you go. Yeah.
Total agreement with
Unity.
Chris said.
Unity.
Yeah, I'm right there. We're on the same page. I need not go into the same thing without literally repeating exactly what she said.
Y'all keep. Hey, hold on, Krissy. What's up with this? What's up with every time I ask the sisters go ahead and speak your mind? They're like, nah, she said everything.
I mean, because if you're in agreement,
She going to chuckle
females
like,
do not have to. You like, we do not have to for women.
wow.
It's just that simple.
I see. I'm learning.
For
I am
love,
learning.
it's just that simple, which is the whole moral of the story, right? And Miss Chris, I'll even go a step further to say this in answer to your question as well, because I thought about it like after I hit the mic, when you were asking me about going back in and healing the other parts of self. That's literally, I literally came to that revelation when I realized that my name spelled backwards was asylum.
Ooh. There's nothing like being a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
World
so it was like, oh,
you did say that to me. That's why you said welcome to now I
welcome
get it.
To the asylum. And so
now I get it.
Yes. So when I wrote the piece to the revelation of that, it was literally talking about going into an asylum and me now being walked by a, a therapist or therapeutic version of me, and walking onto different floors and going past certain rooms that were people in those rooms that were those people, the 2-year-old, the teenage, and the adult. And I got to the last room, and it was like, yeah, once you sit in here, you can put your straight jacket on, you can calm down. Here's some meds. You could you could get in your head. And by the way, this is all a figment of your imagination. Like, that's literally kind of how that poem goes from beginning to end.
Wait. Let me ask you this. Because you know something I found out interesting. Is it really just a figment of your imagination, or is it possibly they give us these medications to keep us from tapping into what we naturally were able to elevate into once upon a time? I do believe a lot of these medicines do dumb us down from being able to really go back to knowing ancestral roots, ancient languages, the whole nine. A lot of things that we so-called say that are forgotten are really not forgotten. Now, I know it's a long stretch for the minds of today, honestly, even for myself in a lot of aspects, but I don't know, it's just something within me that just simply remembers. That's not forgotten or lost. It's just misplaced. It's almost like, yeah, your keys are in the house. It's just not on the table by the door where you normally put them.
Yeah. To be completely honest, I'm afraid of medication. I've never been on medication. That was just for that poem and how I wrote that character, or ended that particular one for
respect to you,
dramatic effect or whatever. And I'm not against people who decide to do that. To be completely honest, I'd rather smoke weed.
I know that's right.
Say that again. I'd
rather blow my brains out on some good loud than to be prescribed a medication.
1 second, Melissa. I'm just giving you fair warning. Just give it 1 second. It's on its way, and guess what? It's here. Shout out to the earth. Shout out to the earth benders. We are the earth benders. You gotta believe
they're out here. So yeah, I would rather that. That's that. But yeah, all of that to say that was kind of the end of that. That's when the revelation kind of came to me. It was like, oh, okay, I realized that it's a couple of chambers in here where there's still some people that have just been living inside of here. They haven't been healed. They haven't been sent home. They haven't anything. I don't even know if I remember they was back here. So it was like, we need to go and collect everybody and escort them on out. And now I'm the gatekeeper. So now when I say, welcome to the asylum, it's a totally different thing for me. It's now you getting to meet the final form, so to speak. And the final form is still all of those people, but in a much freer, peaceful, loving, learning, and not afraid to fall, get up, get wisdom nuggets, not be as offended, not be offended at all, recognizing the difference between discipline and abuse, all those things that come with it. And it's a process that starts every single day and continues every single day.
Can I offer you, Melissa, that from my understanding, the way in which I perceive everything that you just said is, number one, and I say this all the time, I actually posted it recently, but I offer you the understanding of saying I am the medicine, because that's essentially what you are. Being a sanctuary, being a refuge in a safe space is so incredibly needed. It's so vital in this time. I know that that's the assignment on my life, is safe space, because the world doesn't have enough, so I became one. And with that understanding, you're right. There has to be a very clear protection over your being, because there can be people that will they will shack up, they will just get very comfortable. These hobosexuals that run around.
About it.
that run around here and will take up space in your entire being. And like you said, you'll be, how long you been here? Wait a minute. You know, so it is, it's beautiful to say. And you know, if you ever have the opportunity, because you profess yourself to be the medicine, because you are the asylum, I offer you to look up something called ultimate or ultimate violet protection.
Hold on, let me type it into my phone.
I'll type it into the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And I can see if I can find the link to it. But
I'll pull the video up if you can find it, or I mean, whatever. You know, I can just, you know, just, if you can hit the link here, I can share the screen.
Because it'll put you in position to protect your personage from people allowing them to just come in and take space in your essence.
Nice.
So I'm trying to grab it. Of course, I'm in here with chat.
The last time I had a conversation with an alchemist, they said something very similar. They were saying like, they said people see you as a like a bank with a humongous vault that's full of wealth. And he said they will come in and rob you if you don't learn how to keep your vault closed. And I was like, okay. So yeah, I've definitely heard that before.
Yes, it's of course I'm like struggling to find it right. Let's see. It's something that's needed because you are sacred, and no one needs to take up space in your being, because that's for you. Like I will reiterate: do not pour from your cup. Your cup is your cup. Pour from your saucer when your cup runneth over. If your cup is not running over, you don't have it to give, and that's okay. That's love of self, because they will take advantage. They are succubi. They will come in and drain every aspect of your being just to fulfill their narcissistic supply. And no more, no less, under the guise and understanding of love. So, yes, by all means.
You ready for question number 7?
I am.
Okay. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and get to question number 7. So, question number 7. One moment. Let me just go ahead and do this, people. Bow, 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 bow. All right, y'all. Let's get to question number 7. What does it read? Question number 7 reads, boom. 7. So, what is one moment in your life where you wish you had expressed more love, and more love, and what it feels like to do that now, even if just in spirit? Bring this full circle with a gentle I can't see it. The damn thing's covering it.
What is one moment in your life where you wish you had expressed more love? And what would it feel like to do that now, even if just in spirit? And then bring this in full circle with a gentle prompt for your listeners, which that was like personal notes, but still, nevertheless, I will read the question again. What is one moment in your life where you wish you had expressed more love? And what would it feel like to do that now, even if just in spirit?
Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna take that to me and my understanding. I had to go in and go back to the place where I felt accosted as a child, where I first felt the pain of of a lack of love, or where I felt like I was being judged or misrepresented and misunderstood. There was this moment of emotional pain that I went back to. And me as this individual now, and I actually do this in a guided meditation, but for people. But I went back and I had to, as an adult, go back and hug that version of myself and let her know that I made it and that it's okay. And that even though we felt that pain in that moment, and it did, I shrunk inside of myself in that moment. And that is actually the beginning of me people pleasing. That was actually the beginning of me having fear that I wasn't as loved as I perceived myself to be before that moment. And I had to go back and give it to me because I deserve it. I was always worthy of it. Just because at the time my surroundings weren't conducive to that understanding did not merit anything different within myself. It just meant that the people around me were expressing or projecting their pain onto me. And my innocence allowed it in because I was a sponge, as we all are as children. And so I had to go back and give myself the love that I felt that I needed in that moment, because I would never do what happened to me to my children. And that there's been moments in my growth that my children had to walk through, especially my oldest child. She walked with me through so many different aspects of myself. I kept being reborn and then I talked about this too in the last podcast. So we're in a constant element of labor and birth. It's a constant thing. We're constantly going through the breakthrough and the new understanding of self, and then going through the labor and the challenges and the pain. And that happened then. I changed and I came out of the other end of that scarred and hurt and broken in a lot of ways. And going back and hugging that beautiful little girl, that little innocent person who wanted to love everything. I used to write love notes to my parents and everything, everywhere. And I had to hug her and give her the love that she felt she needed in that moment, did not receive. And that was so cleansing for me. That was so cleansing, that I loved myself then. And I'm doing this, who it is that I am now, living my fullest potential, stepping outside of my comfort zone. This is all for her. It's all for her because I love her so much. And I'll leave it there.
Okay. You got it, Melissa. It's on you, beloved.
Three things came to mind. God, myself, my children. Well, the reason I say God is because if I was still in a lot of situations longer and not, oh God, why me? You don't love me. You don't love me. If I was less that, throwing a temper tantrum, probably could have got to a lot of places faster. Myself, because I wasn't giving myself any grace. It was very hard for me to forgive me. And again, because of unfortunately being in church, not faith, but church, in a church place where I was talking about it earlier today on the live, they would blame you for being a victim. So like before they could get to me, or it had happened so often that it was like, yeah, if it happened to me, I must have been out of the will of God, or I must have did something. So yeah, I wish I would have loved me more sooner. And my children, because until I came to that realization, I bled on them like that. It wasn't on purpose. My mom bled on me like that. So that was the only way I knew till I knew something different. Thankfully, though, that has taken a turn. So I'm grateful that I kind of stopped it before or right when I started to see that they were from doing familiar things in their parenting. I'm a grandmother of 8. So when I started to see that certain things they would say would be something I've said to them, something my mother said to me, something her mama probably said to her, like going back like you were saying, I was like, yeah, nah, let me stop you right there because that wasn't right. Da, 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 da. So again, that's where I'm at and what I'm working on every day. But yeah, those three are the three that came to mind.
You know, one of the most freeing experiences that I had was when I realized that I chose my parents because of the lessons that I needed to learn through them. And my children chose me because of the lessons that they needed to learn through me. And I was able to forgive myself for the things that I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know until you find out. And once you find out, you're supposed to do better, right? And so usually the progression of things is, it's just it is what it is until it isn't. And I had to forgive myself and love up on me because of the pain that I imposed upon my children without the intention. There was never a malicious intention. I just didn't know any better. Just didn't know.
Exactly that. Literally, the very last couple of lines says exactly that. It says, lastly, forgive me and understand that every moment, second, and time is brand new to me. And I know this wasn't God's plan for our legacy, but it was indeed the plan of the enemy. So I got to renounce my part so I don't become a crack in our family's broken heart. So I agree with that statement entirely.
That was beautiful, beautiful, beautifully said.
I know one thing. I want to ask you two ladies this. Do you all believe that there is a difference in how women define the definition of love and how men do?
I think that the definition of love varies from person to person. I don't know that it's the exact same for regardless of the sex. I firmly believe that love
So
is different.
person to person. So that is something that I do definitely see because I say myself, I believe that love should be for each individual person, customized and tailored. And that's why I find it so hard to genuinely, like I was saying, like it's fulfillment, be just like listening to people to try to tell you about love because I'm saying to myself, unless you're talking about me in particular, in the particular circumstance that I'm in with this person right now, what you saying may or may not hit. And I think we be missing that. So you got a lot of folks that'll take one umbrella, one size fits all generalized statements of things, which we would then turn around and call the narratives. And a lot of times it can really misguide and mislead a lot of people. And it's not even off bad intentions or anything. No, it's just a simple fact of not everybody loves the same, and not everybody gives love and receives love the same way, you know?
That's why
And
there are languages.
you got the floor, beloved.
No, that's why there are love languages. That's why there's different ways to express love. But I gotta say that First Corinthians 13, chapter 4 through 8 express love in perfection, especially if you view it. If you view it as a frequency, as an energy, as the pulse of existence, it specifically says that love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Understand, this is the frequency of love here. This is the expression of the highest frequency here. This is what we come from. This is where we are, and this is what we go to. This is expressed through what is perceived as the word. So I say again, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. We come from that. That is the truth of love. That is the expression of love about it as honestly as you can possibly get it, because it is in and of itself a frequency. It is because that frequency has to pass through the frequency of you, of who you are. It has to come through your lens. You can negate any aspect of this explanation once it gets to you. Once it gets to you. But that's on you. That's on you and your expression. And what you put out, you'll get back. The way in which you love, you will be loved back. And if you don't love yourself enough, you'll never understand what's good for you. You won't choose what's good for you. The more that you love up on you, the more that things that are good for you is what looks good to you. So, Venus.
You want to read this comment?
Yeah. Smitty, I'm noticing now even more that you and I aren't just mirror reflections, but you are me in masculine form. We speak the same words and think the same thoughts.
Thank you. I'll just take you look at me as a masculine man. Just for the record, a man doesn't take being told you're the masculine version of a woman as a compliment. I'm just trying to help you. Like I get it, sis. I get it, but just leave it at you recognize me as a man. You don't have to incorporate a woman into recognizing me. You don't have to do that. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. It's just
you didn't have to.
How we as men, it's organic. It's just natural. You got to understand how we process information. Just as much as we take time to process. No, you can put your hand up to your head all you want. I'm trying to get you to understand how men process information. Learn us as much as we take time to learn you.
She was talking
here and learn you all day.
And you took that and turned that into something.
I know what she said. I'm just saying, but she said I'm the masculine her.
She said,
y'all gotta understand how us as men take. Look, I'm not making it bad. No, she did great. I'm just saying, it would be nice if you just recognize just me as a man, everything woman separate. That's all I'm saying. I would never say, you're the feminine version of me. Like, no, I would just say you're an awesome woman, and that's it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, I would have to say that the way that I received that and the fact that you were triggered is something that you need to work on for yourself.
I'm not triggered. I'm just saying the way men receive information.
Hold on. Let me say that she came from a complete place of love and saying that you are a parallel to her divinity, her spirit of divinity. The way in which you think is so similar that she sees you as her alter ego, as someone that would be the masculine, and trust the masculine lives in every one of us as women. And it should not be and perceived as something that's from a negative space. If it is, then no one understand that you have counters in yourself as women, men. We all exist. I've actually met my equal opposite, and it's an amazing place to be here. He's my best friend. I've known him for 19 years, and he is the male equivalent of me. We think alike, we act alike, we talk alike. Even when we argue, it's the same. So she was just saying out of pure love that she recognizes the divinity in you, that she sees within herself.
I do. I know where her heart is. I just listen. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's anything wrong. Just like saying, hey, how men process information. You know, I do believe that's a large reason why we're like.
I'm taking it that way. Don't jumble everybody in.
It's not. I'm really saying it just like the wording, because you know something that I had to learn. I swear on life. You want to know how I learned how to pivot so well with women? Because I just had to recognize, it's just certain stuff like, watch this. I'll just give you all a perfect example. Maybe not all of you all, but to a lot of women nowadays, saying like, hey, yeah, I'm looking for a woman to submit. That is not going to roll over well. To a lot of women, In their headspace, that sounds almost slavery-like or controlling. So you know what I learned to hold on real
Divine
quick.
masculine would never need to say that. That's something that happens naturally.
Just let me land the example, beloved. Just let me land the example. So all I'm saying is, as a man, in that common courtesy and consideration of knowing that you all communicate and receive it different, we really do ignore that a lot. Like, men give and receive information different than women give and receive it. So I learned that the word submission doesn't work too good. So you know what I say? No, I'm just looking for a woman to work with me, not against me. You know what I learned? That rolls over a lot better because of how I said it. That's it. We all know sometimes it's not what you say. I'm not saying it's what she said. I know exactly what she meant. Third eye open. I just want to make it very clear. And it's not a triggered nothing. I'm trying to say it in a learning process of, ladies, men, we do have a thought process just like you. That's it. And I don't want to always feel like, damn, you know what? I got a thought, but I don't want to say it because the lady's going to think I'm triggered. Man, ain't got nothing to do with that. I just like to speak freely, just like I give everybody up here the opportunity to do. I don't want to feel like I'm stifled and I can't speak my mind because somebody's going to take it the wrong way. No, ladies, the way you all word things can either hit or miss with us just as much as things that we can say can hit or miss with you. That is it. No feelings involved. I digress. My mic is muted. You got the floor.
Okay, because I will say that again, I don't think that pertains to all men. I think you need to take full accountability for that understanding, because I've literally said that exact same thing as Venus said to my best friend. Like, you are the male version of the understanding of the aspect of self. That is to say, my frequency, my energy, my vibration, my divinity. And he would have never, ever taken it to the don't talk to me like that, because that all sounded like it came from a place of pain. I'm just saying that's the way that I perceived it. And I don't know that at any given moment, when I read that, all I read was love. All I read was love. And yes, everything has to pass through everyone's lens. But your lens, sir, is yours, and take full accountability for your lens and the way in which you perceive that. Don't put that off on all men, because I know some very manly men that would totally have appreciated that compliment, especially.
That's the thing that I'm making clear. Like, for example, watch this, right? You know, like even in a word, and I'm not trying to go there on it, but just giving in examples in this healthy discussion. You know, how it's even said, the road to hell, you know, shout out to my man who reminded me of this. The road to hell is paved through what? Good intentions. Listen, sometimes it's not about, and I had to learn that. I did just recently. I had to learn that myself. I had such the most wonderful intentions in what I wanted to say. And you know what? It got totally thrown left.
You took what she said as a paved road to hell?
No, oh my gosh, no. Listen to me, please. No, goodness gracious, no. Follow what I'm saying.
I'm trying.
Eliminate any. No, don't try. It's easy to do because I make it very simple. Watch me. What I'm saying specifically is when he said that a lot of times we could have good, and look, don't take the hell part. Don't take specific words. It's just an analogy.
You did. I don't understand. Isn't that the point of this discussion? You took specific words and it turned into all of them.
Yeah, but
off of the entire topic tonight. But this is an expression of love, and this is a pure example as how love can be expressed and misrepresented within someone's own.
What I'm saying, I would love to please complete this thought quietly and peacefully. I'm not upset about nothing. Everything I'm saying is only about different. And look, we spoke about everybody's different. Don't you know how we said you got to customize love? You know what I learned in how to customize love? You know, everybody does not receive how you may speak or how you say things all the same way. I was just simply making it clear that is an example of how that can work. That's it. I didn't know that would go to that point, but I was just simply saying to my sister, to the beloved, you know, shout out to Sister Galaxy. No, it's just like how I know if I say certain things a certain way, it'll be taken like, oh, what are you saying? Like, let's just be for real. Like, us as men, I can't just come out and say anything, any kind of way, right? I can't do that. You see, that's all it is. So I'm just saying, like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying it in a bad way. Nah, information is just processed different. And I think that we will learn a lot more about each other if we learn how each other processes information different. That's the only thing that's being said here. Information is processed different. That's it.
And all I said was be mindful of the fact that that's the way in which you perceived it, not the way it was intended, nor the way that anyone else would necessarily perceive it. Accountability of your own, like I said, is the expression of love and how it's different for everybody. She expressed love, and it was received almost with a backlash because
So
of the way.
do you think? No, I just want to know because I'm actually curious. Do you believe that the expression of love? Because I don't know. You know, I don't know too much about it, and I do like to learn, and I do appreciate you teaching me. So don't mind anything. I'm learning right now more than anything. I'm actually learning. Do you believe that the expression of love, although we say love is universal, right? Like, I mean, I think me and you both agree with that. It's universal. And you know, the one thing that's always confused me about it is trying to figure out how to balance out this thing that is universal, but simultaneously we have to go about it in an individual way with each person. Maybe you can help me out. How do we balance that?
The first step is to understand that you're not in the universe, you are the universe. And every aspect of everything that's happening around you happens through you. So it's all happening through your lens and through your perception. So when with the understanding that love is universal, love is unconditional. It's there. There's no conditions. We set conditions and limitations based on our interactions with other people, which is an egotistical aspect of love. Because now it has to pass through your lens, it has to pass through your ego, so that you can express it in this 3D reality. And your ego, your whole being, is a culmination of all of your experiences. So the way in which you perceive love and the way in which you receive love is limited to your understanding of love as it passes through your lens, as it passes through your perception.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How much would you say, like, because I know we like to say like everything should be just all the way fluid, right? I am curious though, because I do, you know, one thing I really appreciate, man, I so appreciate the unique differences of what does really make a man and a woman. I really do, man. I swear on life, when I say I love you all so much, I mean like the comfort, like your voice, you know, the soft touch of your hands, all of these things that women bring is such a magnificent, beautiful part to men. Just as much as I know that, you know, maybe the protectional aspect of us, the creative side, knowing how to build something, I don't know, whatever it may be to women of today that they just so attract to, all the way down to just the man's, you know, romantic side. I don't know. How much would you say is, no, that's more so just an organic nature response as opposed to what society, not saying anything what you're saying, like in general, what society has conformed us to. One thing I will say to land it is that I do believe that us as men and women, I believe that society has made it so that a lot of times my sisters are not able to be as just soft and feminine as they want to be because society does not make an environment that's conducive for it. And I also believe the same thing for us as men, as far as a lot of times society does not make an environment that is conducive just for us to be men. So my point is, how much would you say is just organic? Like, I do believe some things is just an organic part that's just always kept nature in balance. And I'm someone who never wants to lose sight of that. I don't want to lose sight of the natural nature balance, the organic side of it. I think it's okay for, a lady to be prissy or whatever it is, or like want to pick a flower or see something cute or colorful, whatever it may be, or like want to do something for you, want to bake something, want to even make something, you name it. Like I recognize that is just a natural, organic part of the creation of us. And I love that part of us. And so when I say certain things, I want to make it very clear. I'm not speaking from some like super duper old primitive, narcissist. No. I'm speaking from a man. I also love the way that we were created from day one. And I'm somebody who recognizes how valuable and so how precious that is. Man, I love the way I watch my mother and father interact. It was just true love. And I was born in that and I was raised in that. I was raised in love, so I come from that. But at the same time, that love that I come from, I was also raised in balance. I wasn't raised in a tilted scale. I was raised on a balanced scale. So that's really all that I'm saying. And you know that we speak about balance often, Krissy. So I don't want my message to get misconstrued, beloved. I'm only speaking about me being a man, not even of tradition, but man of organicism. Like, just, I'm organic. I mean, all the way to the fullest, all the way down to, I recognize sometimes you're going to be a lady. And I mean, just whatever a woman does. Like, I don't bark at her. I'm like, yeah, nah, man, that's women. And I love it. Like, I don't question it. I don't try to change it. I don't try to make it seem like it's nothing bad. I love it and I embrace it. And all I want to do is learn more from you. And I just want to make that very clear. And I digress. My mic is muted. Thank you for letting me share, beloved.
So I completely appreciate where it is that you're coming from. And I will say that basically rounds out the entire topic. Tonight's topic started with the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry. And I said that to say you are only able to perceive and receive love from your standpoint of self. The more love that you feel it, I know that you saw it with your parents, but the more love you give to yourself without it coming from anything external, without you requiring external validation, affirmation, confirmation.
Right.
If you stand within your own personage and truly envelop love within yourself, then you will see it as a counterpoint in someone else, and there will be balance, and it is organic, and it is innate.
Okay.
I see you. That is also to say that the person that you're with may still trigger you, and the triggers that happen around you are for you to grow and to turn into a better person, to see things within yourself that require healing that still exists within the shadows. That's why I was talking to you about shadow work.
We are going to play a quick clip. This is a short on my channel. And you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because you know something? You've been speaking about these triggers. And I want to play something. And you know what? I think you're really going to like this, because it's our boy. It's our boy. It is definitely our boy. So let's go ahead and listen to this real quick, because I think we need to go ahead and go back on something, okay? So let me go ahead. Let me just find it. It's here. It's here. No, it's not that far down. Hold on. Right. Hold on. Let me see something here. Hold on. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Oh, shoot. I got to go on my actual phone. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got to go on my actual phone, because it's about, hold on. Right here. I'm about to play it. All right, here we go. right, so let's go ahead and play this right here. Oh boy. All right, so I'm about to play this right now, and you can see this is what I'm trying to get you to get where I'm coming from as well. And I understand because we both on that same page as the lamps. Let's get it.
I feel that this concept of ourselves, which we call our personality or our ego, can do something because we think it really exists. And I'll tell you why we think it exists. What happens when if I were to say to you, now look hard at the television screen, really look at it. What do you do as distinct from just watching it in the ordinary way when you say, now I really got to see that? What do? Notice that you tighten muscles all around here, that you frown a little, you clench your teeth perhaps. Now what has that got to do with seeing anything clearly? It has absolutely nothing to do with it. Same thing when you listen carefully. Now listen, catch everything that's said, or you start tightening up around your ears. That has nothing to do with hearing clearly.
So when you speak about what we say, so when you speak about, how we operate when it comes to these, I guess you can say triggers and so on and so forth. Like, I do recognize what you're saying, but what I've noticed is that when you really become aware of self, what we naturally call triggers nowadays, I really call once again, a heightened awareness sense. Just like how we said, when people would say, nah, you just in your feelings. Nah, I ain't in your feelings.
That's not a heightened sense of awareness. It's not a trigger. You can be triggered and not be in higher sense of yourself. That's being in higher sense of yourself. When you're triggered is when you step into yourself and go, why did that just happen? Why did my cortisol levels just go up? Why do I feel my blood pressure rising? Why am I all of a sudden getting a headache? Why do I feel this tension in my body? What is going on? That's when you become the observer. That's the higher awareness.
When you say that the trigger is when the cortisol goes up, your blood pressure, the whole nine, your head starts. That's triggered, right?
That is the physical response to a trigger. Yes, that's what happens. The same way he said, if you pay attention to the TV, that's what happens to you physically, and you can hear it because your voice gets elevated, and all of a sudden now you feel this passion, this burning inside of you, like you have got to be validated in your understanding. You've got to get this out. And when you learn to deal with your triggers, at some point you literally just say, okay, what is happening in this moment, and what am I supposed to take from this? Not so much of I'm angry or I'm upset by this, or this has hurt I'm in my feelings. What does being in your feelings means? That means that you do not have control over your emotions. Your emotions now have control over you. You let them take the driver's seat.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this, because again, I spoke about this before, and I mean, because it's just, I'm so curious about this, and I notice this nowadays with society. What are we allowed to speak about and point out that we notice without it being you're in your feelings about it? Like, at what point sometimes do we recognize, what, nah, that person really don't care? Like, there are a lot of things that I may point out and mention or say something to. I'm not about to lose no sleep. I don't feel no kind of way. Like, I'm really, really real life chilling. But it's like, I noticed that if you don't just let every single little thing just like roll over and go, like me, what I do think a problem of mine is, more than being in my feelings, I'm too detail oriented. Like, I'm too quick to point out the smallest little things, but it don't even mean I feel some kind of way about it. I really don't. I don't think people understand how much I've been through and had to go through to get to where I am, to where I wouldn't be where I am if I kept like wrestling and tussling with every single moment that happens.
It's
but
not
like, I do recognize, I do recognize that like society, real deal. I'm being honest about it. Like, society is, if you speak your mind, and if it's not of like just rejoice of something only, it's like, you have to be hurting about it or you're upset about it. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm great. Like my whole day, like everything has been beautiful, fantastic, and it still is to this moment.
That doesn't mean that a moment in time took you out of that element of peace for just a second. That doesn't mean that there wasn't some sort of need for you to check yourself. Like I always have phenomenal days because I choose to every single day. Every day gets better than the last in my life. And I mean that. I don't care what it is that's happening in my world. I am honestly the happiest person ever. Does that mean I don't get triggered? Absolutely not. I'm still healing. I'm still in the progress. I'm still going through certain things that need to be brought into me. That's the love. That's the love. The love is in the understanding that I still love myself even in this moment, even though I'm triggered, even though this is what's happening and what is going on. Stepping again out of it and going, what is going on? As Venus said, it's about
a real therapeutic moment. Yeah, we're about to have a real therapeutic moment. Let me help the ladies out. So again, right? Hold on. We got to introduce sis. Let's just go ahead and bring her right on up. We ain't gonna waste no time with it. We're about to have a real therapeutic moment, okay? So I'm going to try my best, all right? So I want the ladies to know everything I'm about to say is only the expression and the thoughts of how me, and I promise you, most men of a certain elevated state do process information. It is not to argue. It is not to say what you're saying is wrong. I don't do the back and forth. This is all love and peace over here, okay? Now, to this comment right here, Sister Venus, just to let you know, not to respond. You know, one thing that is so huge is a extremely high rate of men who off themselves. All right. So remember, just so you know, Krissy, like you can't say the S word. Yeah, that's another, trigger word for that. Now that's a trigger for YouTube. Can't say that. You gotta say delete or off. Okay. So there are a lot of men who delete themselves. And you want to know why? Because they just don't have nowhere to go or nowhere just to express themselves without being told something of some kind of backlash. I just really want us to hear this real quick. As a man who, it's nothing to anything anybody's saying up here. This is totally separate from this entire conversation. This is now to the audience and to the ether. This is separate from us. To my audience, there are a lot of men who I swear on life. That's why, listen, do y'all not understand why I built this platform the way I did? And why I said, I want y'all to come up here and speak your mind. And I meant that, and I know y'all see me doing it. I also want to speak mine as well. I got thoughts too. And my thoughts aren't bad thoughts. They're just my thoughts. So all I'm saying is that you got a lot of men like myself who may not have a platform to come speak or anything. And right now, there are a lot of guys who just wish they had somebody to talk to and listen to, somebody they can trust without telling them you crying, you whining, you bitching, or you in your feelings, you need to suck it up. I really want us to just recognize when we talking about love in a universal way, yeah, I am my brother and my sister's keeper. That's why I say I am the village holder, because we all consist of it. And I just wanted to make that clear. I ain't going to wrap us up. I'm not to give no long lecture. But sisters, please just understand something. Like, we do think too. We do feel too. We do. And a lot of times we're kind of forced to have to use this facade and like that, But like, as one who is open enough to speak about it, I'm making it clear. Like, nah, we be want to just share our thoughts too. And we don't be want to have a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? Like, is something wrong with you or you're still in your feelings? Like, nah, man, because I can honestly tell you, I'm somebody who is so straightforward and I'm very good at articulating myself. When I feel some kind of way about something, I'm going to tell you, like that abandonment. Yeah, I still got that on my mind and I spoke about it. When it's something that's still on my mind, I'll say it. If I don't have no feelings about it, I promise you I don't have no feelings about it. I just like to point certain things out. That's it. Nothing more. I digress.
You misconceived even my statement, because in my returned response to what Venus was saying, that was all love, all of it. I said what I said to you because I wanted you to see that there was love being poured on you and you rejected it because of a word that made you feel some type of way. So you blocked the inpouring of love that was happening to you. And then I poured love into you because I said, hey, you're being loved up on and you're pushing it away because of verbiage, because of the way it was expressed to you. You didn't need to do that because she did come from love. It was a place of love. And I came at you from love. The reason why men are offing themselves is because they don't have other men to talk to. We women call each other. We're going to go through the motions together. I don't call a man when I'm going through something. I call my girls because we understand each other and we do things together. Men don't have that camaraderie. You guys are constantly.
No, you right. No, you're saying it right. No, we don't. We really don't. And that was my whole point. So you're not saying anything wrong, beloved. You're on point. It's okay. It's okay.
It's not even just men deleting themselves, but men are dying from heart conditions sooner, dying from blood pressure issues sooner. There are aspects that are happening to men because they don't have the Venuses and the Krissys of the world who are going to call each other and go through what is going on in my world, and I need you to help me see my way through this. Men are
I appreciate you both. I swear I do. I swear I do. I appreciate y'all so much.
Men are prideful, and so therefore you turn to us. I have a lot of male friends that call me with the things that they can't say to their other male friends. So yeah, it really is. I just wanted to iterate to you that Venus poured love unto you, and so did I. And I apologize if it was misconceived or misread or misunderstood, because that definitely wasn't where I was coming from. My intention is definitely not going to pave a way to hell for you. My intention, who it is that I am, and the love that I pour onto you will only elevate your being if you allow it. And I love you enough to want you to be elevated.
And I want to say I apologize to you sisters too, Sister Venus, first and foremost. I'm so sorry, sis, if it was taken out of context. I was just making an expression of how men can process information different, just like you sisters could. And please forgive me also, Krissy, as well. I apologize to you. My intentions as well was not to reject the love that she was given. I just wanted to say that we do process information different. So when she said it, I'm like, is she calling me a girl? Yes, the man part of me in my brain, you know what I'm saying? Yes, there was a part of me in my head, just naturally, organically as a man, that was like, why you comparing me to women? That's all it is. And that's just
how empowering that is. You know how beautiful we are.
It's just the old school manly man in me. And I ain't mean nothing by it. Let's let Venus get in there, because this was her comment. Let's let her get in there. I'm sorry, sis. I'm so sorry, beautiful. Forgive me.
It's all love. Let me first say that I accept your apology. I don't think you have anything to be sorry for, though. What I am recognizing is you are not used to being heard. So it seems. Let me not just say what it is, but it seems like.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And so I'm seeing that because, and I notice a lot of times you always say, and this is a statement you make very frequently. You say, y'all can listen to us too. Ladies, it's okay to listen to us. So that tells me that you're not used to being heard. And so even when you are being heard, because you're so used to people not hearing you and pushing off their own opinions and life experiences, that you're not understanding that you are understood. You feel me?
I actually can get with that. I do believe that it happens so often that when I am receiving it in its genuine form, maybe I am a little blinded from the consistency of the past. I do. I can get with that, sis. Okay, you want to say?
And so I don't want to just say that you're not used to dealing with enlightened women, but whatever type of woman you're used to communicating with, you're allowing it to mesh in other scenarios. But I wanted to speak about the masculinity part and me seeing myself in you. I can't remember what one of your statements was, but you said, um, why can't I just say that I appreciate your masculinity? There is a difference in between, or there's a difference between recognizing that you are a man, and there's a difference between the correlation in me seeing myself in you. I recognize masculinity in a lot of men. Any man, any real man, all men are masculine. I'm not talking about the N word. I'm not talking about males. I'm not talking about dudes. I'm talking about a man. All men are masculine. And so I know a man when I see one, but I don't see myself in all men. I see myself in you. That's why I said you are the male version of me.
Totally.
Knowing that is a trigger for you, and knowing how you operate and how you feel about being compared to female, that challenged your masculinity. What I can now see is you would have took it better if I was to
No, say it.
curve
No,
it and say,
no.
I recognize myself in you.
No. Everything that is taking place right now. Shout out to my sister Trina, man. Shout out to Katrina. Tex has no feelings. The fact is that you wrote words and I wasn't able to hear your voice. I wasn't able to hear you say it. Once you got up here and said it, it all if from jump you would have said it and I hear you say it, man, we probably would have, it never would have. I think it's because I'm classic. Like, I'm used to the voice. Nothing can replace the human voice. And I do, you know what I'm saying?
Messages are interpretive,
Yeah, man,
and they can be interpreted any kind of way. It's like, what are you saying there?
Especially if you old school like us, like I'm not from that generation, although I live in it now, just like we all do. So again, I apologize. Like, 'cause that's why I'm like, dang, it makes sense now that I'm hearing your voice and you saying it. It all came to fruition, baby girl. Now we good, fam. Everything.
Well, there it is.
Did you want to answer any of the questions real quick? I mean, while we up here, real, you know what I'm saying?
My son has been waiting on me. We're having family time, mother and son time, watching a television series. But I wanted to come and support. And when I made that statement, I was like, okay, this has gone on too long. Maybe I do need to voice my opinion opposed to stating my observation.
And I would like to
But
say,
I said that because a lot of times when you say something, I was just thinking it and saying it in my head. It's like we're speaking at the same time. It's like,
yeah. Nah, I do. I totally get that. Very much overstandable. But I want people to know before you go. I want you to hurry up and get back before you go. I want folks to recognize this is how us as people can simply communicate. Simple communication. Just like a simple, hey, this is what I meant real quick. And I love
effective, mature dialogue.
This actually turned out to be more of a beautiful example than something that was, anything else. I actually look at it like this is great. Like, I actually love it. I love the fact that we are the ones who are able to show the maturity and demonstrate how we are supposed to conduct ourselves when we have a slight little, like, just like confused. That's all. It wasn't even an argument.
A
It's just like
misunderstanding.
that's it, just a misunderstanding. Don't let that molehill turn into a mountain. God dang it. You know, so I love it. Like, and I love you, sister. And I appreciate you so much. So get on back to the family, god damn it, girl. Going back to the family. All right.
One
Okay.
love, much love, all the time.
Family. You already know.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So yeah, Krissy, what do you have, I guess, on final thoughts and stuff for the evening? We're at that 3-hour mark, and I think we did the damn thing, and we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good.
I agree. I think that it was productive if nothing else. Some good points. I know Soapbox said he was going to join in, but I agree. It's getting late.
He might. I don't know. He might. Now, I have one small clip I wanted to play if you wanted to indulge.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's listen to this clip just to keep the energy of this show going. And I want you to tell me what you think of this right here. One moment, y'all. But real quick though, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break from our sponsors, because we got to make sure we take a quick commercial break from our sponsors. And this quick commercial break is brought to you by The Transformation.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right. Let's get on back to it. I'm loving how everything flows out. I'm loving how everything works itself. I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate everybody. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull this clip up now. So let's see what we got here, Krissy. All right. So let's go to history. Now, when I was looking at this video, I was saying to myself, there is some connection to this, right? So watch this. All right, let me see. All right, so I want to pull this short video up. All right, so let me see something. Where's the short version of this? Hold on, because I don't want to pull up the long version. All right, so right here, all right. Let's just see exactly how this works. And I'm only going to play what she says. Now, this is old, okay? This is really old. And I just found it interesting what she said. And you tell me what you think.
So people ask me, is love really the most powerful thing in the world? And what I'm going to say is, yes, it is. I'll just give you a sense of it. Sometimes that power can be negative. We now understand as scientists that when you turn and criticize your partner, when you send your partner a message that somehow they're not quite the way you want them to be, this is really taken into their brain as a danger cue. It's really filed as something that's a threat. And one researcher described it as low-grade punches to the brain. So we might think we're giving advice or just sort of giving somebody a little help, but they are going to hear it as punches to the brain. They're going to have a hard time with it. We also understand that turning away and shutting down and shutting somebody out, if they love you and they need you, is terrifying for them. Their brain goes into alarm. When we understand the negative impacts of love, we can love more intelligently. When you think about the positive effects of love.
Now, I want to pause it right there. I want to pause it right there because that right there really got to me. The negative effects of love. I thought love was supposed to be a positive and a good all around the board. That's right, Krissy. Get him, girl.
There is absolutely duality and polarity in each one, in every aspect of every understanding. So
Okay.
so when you're speaking to the polarity or the understanding of love, when you're coming from, that's where you said the intention, right? When you're
Yes.
coming from and your intention is not in alignment with the way that it's number one said and number two received, because there's a lot of power in the tongue. That's the reason for the podcast being called Because You're Listening.
Absolutely.
I will reiterate that the way in which you speak to yourself is vitally important because you're listening. So with that being said, there is polarity to everything. You have the absolute positive aspects of love, but the perceived, again, everything is a perception, right? The perceived negative aspect of love is discipline, because discipline is telling someone and forcing someone into the understanding that they can and be better. It is putting yourself in a position where it's not necessarily comfortable, but you push through it anyway because you know the outcome is going to be what's best for you. But discipline can be perceived as negative. So it again is all based on your lens. And sometimes you've got to take the moment to cleanse your lens. It's important to voice to your partner that there's something that doesn't work for you. There's something that, you know, he or she does that affects you in some sort of negative way. And if it's happening every day, you need to be able to voice that. That needs to happen. Now, cognitive dissonance, which is what I was talking about earlier, is when you're so comfortable and set in your ways that anything external that is trying to shift you out of your understanding is painful. It's the punch to the brain, it's cognitive dissonance. It hurts. Somebody says, I don't like the way you do your favorite thing, it's going to hurt you. But that favorite thing in that moment, you have to make a decision between the person that you care for and their happiness and your comfort and what it is that you're doing. Do I need to make an adjustment here? Am I willing to? And will it affect my authenticity? And it's like I said, that the quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of the questions that you ask. So it's not always a matter of immediately responding, because
Right.
if you say something and you're trying to come from love and you say it immediately, you're
Yeah.
usually coming from a place of emotion. You don't take a moment to step back and go, I need to get this said, but how do I say it where it doesn't hurt? How do I say where I can alleviate some of the impact of it?
Damn, that's a good point. Now, I appreciate you for that. Let's get back to the rest of this video. Okay, now I see you.
The new science is very clear. When we are loved, we blossom. Love, a good love relationship, a good secure bond helps us feel good about ourselves, helps us know who we are, protects us from stress, encourages us to be open and go out into the world and explore, actually impacts our mental health. We're less likely to get depressed. It just makes us stronger and more whole as human beings and creates these amazing relationships that give us a safe haven to take us through life, a safe place to stand and grow. So yes, science says love indeed is the most powerful thing in the world for us.
Now, when she says, oh, hold on. Now, when she says for us, like as for people, like, or just like life, like, you know, even animals, but I mean, I'm saying, like, how is that the most important thing for us if most people don't even encompass it? You see? Like, I would say majority of people, well, no, not encompass it. I would say we all encompass it. No, most of us encompass it. but I would say majority do not know how to activate it within themselves in enough way to be able to exude that and let it pour into others. A lot of people lack that part. That's what I would say. There we go.
That's a perfect way to put it. The fact is, and we've talked about this, I've had some supernatural experiences. And in those supernatural experiences, I was surrounded and enveloped in a love that I cannot effectively quantify. So I know for a fact that the entire pulse, I know without a shadow of a doubt of my being, which is why I say I am the embodiment of, and I am the fullest extent of the encompassing as much love as I possibly can within my being. And that is primarily because of the fact that I understand that that really is the highest frequency. But it's all a matter of awareness and consciousness of its existence. When you equate love to external validation, when you equate love to your confirmations and the affirmations and the way in which you're perceived externally, and you don't take it within yourself and know that you are essentially everything that's pertaining to love. You are it. It's passing through you, your being, and then becomes part of your awareness, part of your consciousness, part of your overall being. And it puts you in a totally different perspective to where it's an outpouring and you see people differently, and you don't want people to hurt. You don't want the planet to suffer. You want more people to feel this way. Like I said, and I will correct myself, but the last podcast when I said that I did not want to be in the light, and I was corrected by Venus, who said, but I am the light. And I recognized that, and I needed her to say that, because the fact is I didn't want to be in the limelight. I wasn't ready to do podcasting. I wasn't ready to do all of these different things to express what it is that I have within me. But it's pouring from me. It's oozing out of me. It's coming from every aspect of my being. And I need to share this because we need it. I need to be the asylum. I need to be the sanctuary. I need to be the safe space. When she said that love equates to safety, it does. It does. I am safe within my being. And because I know that there is nothing but love here. And even in my departure from my flesh, I came from love and going back home. So
You know exactly. You know exactly. um, I want to go get some banana pudding off of that. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. Shoot. So I want to play this last clip. Let me see what we got, man.
You can have a line and you can measure the length of the line. All right. Now I can add another line at like right angles to it. And when I do that, I can actually trace out a square. So now a square has more than just a length. There's area inside the square. And that area is defined by both axes. You need both to get an area. Okay. Let's add a third axis.
Oh, damn.
X, Y, now Z. Now you don't have a line. You don't have a square. What do you have? You have a cube. What do you care about in a relationship? You want the person to look hot? Nothing wrong with that. Make a note of that. You want the person to be good in bed? Just fine. Be honest with yourself. That's another. So these are separate coordinates. Let's get a third one. You want the person to be kind, let's say. Each of these is completely separate from the other. You can be beautiful and evil. You can be, but you care about those three.
Right.
So now rate this person from 0 to 10 in those three categories. I'm telling you to take those three numbers, multiply them together. You will get the volume of your love.
Wow. It's because he broke it down the way in which I perceived his explanation of the measurement from that was a phenomenal clip, by the way. But the measurement from on the line and then adding another line, right now you're adding dimension, which is the reality that we live in. You take us through dimension, and it is as complex and as simple as building upon everything, which is how you are continuously in a state of manifestation. We always are manifesting. They talk about the law of manifestation as if it's something we can turn off. Like, you get what you are in life. Okay. So the frequency that you're on is your element of manifestation. You can literally, once you understand yourself fully, create and manifest whatever it is that you want in life. And you're doing it every day anyway. It's just that you're calling it fate. You're blaming everything around you, and it's all these things are happening. No, no, no. They're happening because of you. They're happening because of you, because you happen, because you are. And so that it is. And it is, there may be external forces that, we've talked about this, the understanding or the envelopment of control to me is a demon. The idea that you think you're in control is almost laughable in the sense of the external happening to you, because the external happening to you is an outpouring of love that is there to bring out the best of you. The resistance is the pushback. Remember the tree. So you're in this constant element of including your partners, including your experiences, including every aspect based on a decision, a new dimension that you create to your life. And so it's a matter of taking it in and understanding your personal power. And the more that you fall in love with you, the better the picture gets, the easier it is to build upon. Because once you fall in love with yourself, it only look good to you if it's good for you.
That's beautiful. Like, wow, okay. All right. I can get what you on that. Now, before we get up out of here, this last, because we're leaving on this note. What's your final thoughts for the evening as I load up our outro clip?
Honestly, that was what I just said was really it. I mean, that was the perfect clip to end it. It was
beautiful.
It was a great understanding of what this really is. The fact that you pulled a clip to show the importance of love, I can't appreciate you more, because it really is the most powerful frequency here. It is what it is that we've come from. It is our innate and eternal being. And the more that you allow yourself to flood with love for yourself, the more love will present itself outside of you.
Okay. Well, sheesh. I could say this much. I love us. I love us so much. And we are the lamps. We appreciate you for tuning in once again to the Illuminaries with your oh so wonderful, beautiful host, Miss Krissy, and Mr. Seven himself, who is still in the process of learning all of this. And with that being said, I appreciate you all for coming through. I can tell you right now, Krissy, if you like the first video, this one right here, I'm pretty sure gonna hit on something sweet. But we're gonna go ahead and get to it. And just remember, I love us. I digress. My mic is muted.
I love y'all too. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Heard an old Japanese legend that said the sun and the moon were in love, but could never meet. One burned with longing, the other glowed with yearning, forever chasing, yet forever apart, until God took pity on them and created the eclipse so they could embrace in the dark. A reminder to people that no love is truly impossible, because love is not measured by distance, but by devotion, by the ache of waiting, by the silent vow that even in separation they are one. And so every eclipse is a love letter from the universe, a reminder that even the stars defy fate to touch, even if just for a breathless moment.